Stupid laugh of yours.
Now it's all okay.
Yeah, you know what it is? Fucking. This ties into exactly what I was going to talk about. This is the first year of my life that I've been feeling my age, feeling old. And it's because A, I'm old. 2, I'm surrounding myself with younger and younger people at work. Like this dumb bitch here, Jackie, who's like, what are you, 18? How old are you, 21? 21. I was about to say that as a joke, thinking, no, she's well above 21. She's not. And D, I'm just becoming like hyper aware of things. Like, we did an interview on KFC Radio, my other podcast, with Youngblood, who is just like this punk rock dude to the core. And he's 23. So he is, a rock star and a baby at that, like doing it so young. And he was telling a story, and he was saying to us, like, if I were to take you out on the town over here in the UK, like, I'd drink you under the table, we'd have a blast, we'd have a good time. And not that there's ever a part of me that could have hung with Youngblood. But there was a time in my life where there was a time in my career when I was late 20s and early 30s where I would be talking to these guys. And, like, for instance, if I was 28, 29, 30 talking to Youngblood, I would have been like, nah, listen, I'm not going to say I could drink with you. I'm not going to say, you're not going to put me under the table. But I could hang. I could run with you for a little bit. Like, I'm no slouch, And now I'm at the point where I'm just like, yeah, man, like, no doubt. Like, I wouldn't even come out. I wouldn't even want to ruin your time. Like, God bless, I'm gonna go back to the hotel and, like, get tucked in and go snuggly and go to bed. Because I just know, for whatever reason, 36 now, that many more miles on the odometer there, that I'm just like, for the first time, feeling old. And maybe it's because of the Tik Tok drama in that world just bleeding into mine, or because I now work with younger people, because I'm just that many years older and that many, I feel like you, in your 30s, you age like dog years. Assuming that if you settle down, have a family, have kids and all that shit. If you stay forever young, it doesn't really matter what the age says. It doesn't matter what your ID says. It's all about, like, the lifestyle you live. But at 36, I'm like, I just feel like I finally, you know what it's like when you are watching athletes, and this happens earlier when you're like 24 and you're watching, like, LeBron come out of high school. I was actually LeBron's age. Me and him, I think, are very close. I think I'm like a few months older than him, maybe. And I remember watching his debut, thinking, I'm 18 years old. He's 18 years old. I think he was playing the Kings, I want to say, and he put up like 25, 7, and 8. And I was like, God damn. Here I am in my freshman dorm. We all huddled up together to watch LeBron's debut. And, I'm watching people my age do these great things. I'm on the sidelines while he's doing it on national television. And so athletes, it happens with pretty quickly, where, you got to realize, especially now, man, I'm watching some of these, like the latest, like the LaMelo Balls of the world, and I'm like, we're getting close to the point where I could technically be like, I'm your father. If I had a kid at 18 and then he was 18, fuck. I could be, these kids coming out in the next draft, like, I could be your father. Oh my God. Someone just take me out back. Put me out to pasture, man. Just do it. So, feeling my age is a weird, like, mortality. I never, as a guy especially too, guys, luckily, we age pretty well, Actually, I say that, but in the same breath, they ran around the office this week at Barstool putting fat filters on everyone's face, and it's kind of like Ghost of Christmas Future for guys. Like, for instance, I don't know, this one just popped up on my phone here. This is Riggs. Riggs in the fat filter, not so great. So, if you are to let yourself go, even as a guy, things can go pretty badly. And this was for me. I looked like another character here at Barstool Sports named Jeff Nadeau. Looked like Dave Portnoy's buddy Elio. I mean, I look like I'm from like the streets of Philadelphia and I'm on parole, and I like sell drugs on the street corner, and I look like Elio. I feel like I serve pizza at like a pizza place in Boston while being a degenerate gambler in Elio. Because you know what this fat filter doesn't do? It doesn't touch your eyes. The bags under your eyes, KFC, yeah, those are just there. That ain't a filter. And when you start to feel that mortality, it's a sad feeling, folks. It's not great. It's not great. And I really do feel like I'll touch briefly upon the Tik Tok drama in a second. But that first stage, I feel like working at Barstool, you stay a little bit young. So depending on your job or who you roll with, maybe some of your coworkers are younger, you can stay young. You can kind of fake it till you make it. If you learn the names and the stories of what's going on in that world, you don't have to just become the dad overnight. I believe heavily in aging appropriately, I don't think there's anything wrong with being your age. You don't want to be old. You don't want to be lame. You don't want to dress like a fucking dope. You don't want to be like trying too hard to be cool. But you also don't want to like turn into your dad earlier than you have to. I believe in doing it appropriately, like with a little twist towards the young side of things. But you could do it one of two ways. You could do it like Dave Portnoy, who's going to stay. He's 45 going on, 18, hanging out with the TikTok gang. I'm over here thinking more like I'm a dad now. I do stay a little bit younger because I have to keep up with pop culture of the world. But I am okay with being my age. I am okay with telling a guy like Youngblood, yeah, man, you could absolutely drink me on the table. I'm okay with that. I am okay with the fact that I'm the old man yelling at the clouds when it comes to music. I got Funkmaster Flex on the show today. We talk about the difference between new and old rap because that's how it's supposed to go. That's how you're supposed to live life. You can't stay forever young. You have to get older. It's like an inevitability, so you might as well accept it, let it in, and do it the way you age the way you want to age. But you gotta age. You gotta keep going forward on that timeline because, Father Time ain't stopping. So you gotta do it accordingly, right? And I think that involves there's two things to do there. There's one, and it always boils down to self-awareness. One is self-awareness, where like I gotta realize now that when I have some of these 21-year-old coworkers, they just look at me and they're like, "That's an old dude." Am I an old dude, Jackie?
No.
She says no, but I am an old dude. I think she's just trying to be nice here.
I have cousins your age.
You have, is that on?
Yeah.
You have yeah, sure, okay. You have cousins. Do you think that they're old though? Like
No,
yeah, those,
I mean,
you would be like, those are my old cousins.
No, well I wouldn't. But like we hang out as if we're like the same age.
Really?
Yeah.
You walk into work, or like you look around Barstool, and you wouldn't be like, KSC's one of the old guys there. And you would be.
No. Everyone's like the same age here.
It is a weird time.
It's like there's not like
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's like even like if Dave's older.
Well,
than
but
you
Dave
and
is living
Yeah,
like a
actually,
child, so he's like a bad example. Like that's what's weird is that I'm one of the only few that's living like that. Like I'm one of the only people here, and Dan's doing it to an extent, but Dan's always kind of been a character in Big Cat.
Yeah.
You have watched me at Barstool, not you, but like everybody, the fans have watched me go from like single dude, mid-20s to married to divorced, from becoming a regular guy to becoming a dad. Like I'm basically like Truman showing this shit. Like I'm living out my life in front of the fans. But so maybe it's in my head. I don't know. Do you think that people, like, would people your age be like KFC's like, there's that old dude, like he's.
No, I think that this is one of those things that's like in your head. It's
Yeah.
like way more than it is. But like, I think that it's like part of your brand to have it like like it's not part of Big Cat's brand to be so focused on like his like age and
his
mortality
age, yeah.
and like.
Well, like that's what I mean. Like Dan as Big Cat can just
Yeah.
like watch football and talk about that forever, whether
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
18
yeah.
or 108. But when my shit is about lifestyles and pop culture and what you're doing, like our material on the podcast, it used to be like, oh my god, man, I'm so hungover. I went out this weekend, like I hooked up with that chick, we were partying till the sun, and now my shit is like, oh my god, like my kid's constipated and I got to change his diapers. You know what I mean? So when your content is your life and your life is getting older, that's gonna be kind of who you are.
Also, you have like old person anorexia or whatever. Like you think that you are like you're like this old man.
Yes, I have body dysmorphia for my age.
your
I have
age.
age dysmorphia. That might be true. So maybe now I'm going overboard. Like I feel like I usually on my birthday, sometimes I don't even know how old I am anymore because I'll start telling people like I'm 36 when I was like 34. And now that I actually am 36, I'm like, am I 38? Wait, how fucking old am I? I guess I'm clearly I'm overthinking it like everything else in life, I guess.
And the last thing I'll say is that Youngblood, when he was going through his night out, I was like, I don't even think I can hang.
Yeah, I mean he,
like that was
go watch KFC Radio with Youngblood. He rolls with MGK now. Him, Travis Barker, MGK, they are like the last punk rock stars. I'm sure the punk rock world knows all these underground punk acts, and to some extent they think the guys like MGK are like posers or whatever. But like Travis Barker's the real fucking deal. Youngblood is coming up. MGK totally switched his style to like, and they are just like punk rock, like pierce your hair, pierce your nose, dye your hair, fucking rock out till like 7 a.m. I mean, they are. So yeah, Youngblood, nobody could hang with him, but it's just I have accepted kind of how old I am, but maybe I'm overdoing it because I guess at the same time I look at like my friend group and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers are old. You guys are like 45. I hang out with my friends that are all wearing like, and maybe it's because they golf a lot, but I show up to wearing like collared shirts like tucked into their like chino shorts and their boat shoes, and I'm like, oh my god, are we just gonna put you guys in a casket soon? So I guess it depends on what circles I'm running in. When I'm outside of Barstool, I'm probably like feels like the younger guy. When I'm inside Barstool, I feel like the older guy. But all of that to be said, when you start to think that way, you start to also think about the good, like the nostalgia side of things. So I firmly believe that living, I've said it before, I'll say it again. For any of the new listeners of the podcast, let me explain my mantra on the generations here. I believe if you are an 80s baby / 90s kid, you are the greatest generation. And that hinges upon a couple things. One, we had to fight for our porn. The kids who grow up today, they got porn at their fingertips. Full feature films, HD, 4K, 1080p, boom, like that, streaming in a second. You can have it on your phone, on the go. You're living in the world of OnlyFans now, where you get like your favorite celebrity or your favorite porn star or whoever, like access to them having sex behind the scenes, all this crazy shit. And you get spoiled because of that, and you probably get demented and weird because that overstimulation. Whereas we had to fight a little bit for that. We had to find your dad's fucking Playboy magazines. We'll talk about Holly Madison in a moment from Girl Next Door. You have to find some Playboys, and if you're lucky, some Penthouse, and you're looking at paper magazines, and then you do get on the internet, and you got to deal with like 60-second clips where you got buffering you're trying to watch a 60-second clip that buffers for 5 minutes. We were the generation downloading porn on LimeWire and Kazaa or whichever platform you're using that would completely decimate your family computer because you downloaded like 35 viruses in because you were looking for that Tara Patrick, that Jenna Jameson video. Same thing with music. Like we were, but by the same token, we are young enough to understand how to transition to the internet world. We're savvy enough that we could just like pick up the phone and understand it. We could hop on the internet and figure out just how to live on the internet with social media and updating you have Like in MySpace, you had kids like HTML coding and whatnot. So that perfect blend of young enough to be internet and technologically savvy, old enough to remember the world without it. And I think because of that, and that applies to everything, like with music, it's like I remember buying CDs and singles at Sam Goody. We would hop in the fucking Nissan Sentra, me and BC, drive up to the Cross County Mall and go to Sam Goody Tuesdays to just see which albums had come out, which singles we could buy, and we would purchase physical fucking discs, man. I used to have a goddamn Sony Walkman with a cassette player, man. Have you ever listened to a tape, Jackie?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have like a tape player?
Yeah. I had a
like a Walkman?
No, not a Walkman.
Like a stereo system with a
like a boombox.
Wow. Did you have older siblings?
Yeah.
How old?
25.
That's still pretty young though. Why do you have that at your house?
I don't actually know. Maybe no, I did. I think there was like a 3-year period where I had, or not a 3-year period. There was like a 2-year period where I remember like a white boombox, and I remember putting like the little tapes in there.
Wow.
It was when I was very young. I think it was like my sister's older one, but I did.
I mean, I had this 6-disc CD player stereo system. My brother did. I had the 3 CDs. Oh man, I loved that. So before I even dive into the nostalgia, that was kind of my point, is that being a part of the greatest generation at my age now comes with this feeling of like, oh my God, I'm old and I'm washed up. And for the first time, it feels like I can't keep up with all the apps and all the changing like landscapes. But what I do look back upon now, I view so fondly, man, the nostalgia of the technology we did have, and the music and the entertainment that we did have, and the girls and the fashion and the TV, all of it. I know every generation probably does this, but I just believe that there was something crazy about the 90s where there was this bridging. It was kind of going from like, we're like the missing link almost. Not missing, obviously, but like we are kind of the key to going from the old world to the new world. And being like the generation that did that. You know, you got the fucking boomers who are just leeches, who are cashing those social security checks until they're fucking dead. And you got Gen Z on the other side who are just, you know, they're leeches in their own right, where they're just kind of like, you know, living the dream where technology and apps and money and fame just seems to fall into their laps. And yep, like there we are right in the middle, kind of like we're paying for the sins of our parents and their generation and everything they fucked up for us, but we paved the way and made things possible for the next generation who, you know, the boomers had their money, had their job, had their houses and property, and now they got their social security and they're living the dream. The Gen Z, they have everything, like the potential and possibilities for them. You're becoming a millionaire at 18, like no problem, no questions asked. And then there's us in the middle who, like, we got all the debt in the world. We're the first people to like not make as much money as their parents did. Somehow we're also the first generation where our kids are going to make more money than us. We're stuck right in the middle where we had to deal with some of the bullshit ramifications and repercussions for the actions of the people before us. But we did it so well that we created a whole new world for the people that came after us to be absolutely crushing it. And yet we're just stuck in the middle. It's like we're the messenger, like don't shoot the messenger kind of thing. Like the messenger's getting no credit. The people who paved the way, we ain't getting shit out of it. We're kind of like the forgotten ones. But we also lived just, I think objectively, the dopest childhood with the best like entertainment and TV shows. And even like I said, those CD players. It's like, you know, that that feeling of having like you open up that tray and the 6 CDs come like spinning out, and you got to remember which number you assigned your CD to, and you had the tape decks below. You could record anything off the. recording off the radio. I'm going to talk to Flex. Like, I used to listen to Funkmaster Flex here in Hot 97 in New York, and I would like, all right, they're premiering the new Cannabis diss song against LL Cool J. Like 1, 2, 3, it's dropping, and I press record. You press play and record at the same time, and then you're gonna get that song. And then Flex drops 35 bombs and spins it back, and it's like, bro, Flex, I just wanted the fucking song, man. Just let the fucking song play. I only got a little bit of space left on this tape. God damn it. So you start thinking nostalgic about that, and as a 90s kid, I think it was, the greatest time to be alive. And then I start to think about some of the things we did as kids that doesn't even apply to my generation. Certain things are forever. Certain things I think everyone will do from now until the end of time. So today, the Barstool office, actually, do we have the bat here? Do you want to run and grab that bat from me? Yeah. I'm sitting around the office, and we have these plastic bats, not like a wiffle ball bat, more shaped like a real bat, and I start to balance it on my fingers, just fucking hanging out, talking to the gang, start balancing it. And the next thing you know, I'm going for like 4 minutes. I say to Rudy, like, how many more seconds? How much longer do you think I can do this? And he's like, 10 seconds. Like, 10 seconds? You think I'm some sort of fucking spaz, man? I know we've all seen the combine, but listen, I can balance a bat for more than 10 seconds. So I start to go, and then I'm going for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And the next thing you know, it's like 10 minutes. They start asking me, what do you think you could do now balancing the bat? So I'm like, should we do the rundown? You want to do the Barstool rundown right now while I'm just sitting here balancing that bat? And it captivates. Like, I go IG Live. I've got the cameras out around the office. We're talking about it. People are guessing how long I'm going to do it, how long they could do it. And it's something as simple as just sitting there, like bat on my finger, just concocting this game and this competition in my head. And that's the kind of shit that I think anybody can do at any age, particularly guys. I wonder if girls are dumb like we are. But I think back to being a kid where you could turn anything into a competition, anything into a fight, anything into a goal or a reason. And that, to me, is like some of the most fun, you'll ever have, which is so bizarre to think. It has nothing to do with, like, it's not like you're on a team playing an official game or whatever, not doing anything important. There's no reason to win behind it. But I'm like, I'm just going to balance this bat and see, what we can do. The same idea is, like, one time I was sitting in college and we're throwing around like a mini football. There's 3 guys. We were just sitting in a triangle. We had like one dude at a dorm desk, one dude kind of sitting on the dorm bed, one of those little like bottom bunk, single, tiny, thin twin beds, and another dude sitting on the other side of the room in a chair. And we're just talking, throwing it around in a circle, which is not in a triangle. Not a big deal. But all of a sudden, my buddy's like, yo, I think we've been tossing this ball for like 30 minutes. Nobody's dropped it. It's like, how long do you think we can go? And next thing you know, we're like 2 hours in. And we're having a conversation. We're just like enjoying ourselves. But we start to think, like, what if we never drop this ball? Anything's possible. And then all of a sudden you start to get like pressure. You're worried about how you're throwing it. You're overthinking it. You're catching it. You're like watching it. You're like watching it into your hands. You start tossing it around. And when we dropped that ball eventually, like somebody just eventually had a bad toss and someone stone handsed it, and it was like the end of the fucking world, because just throwing the ball around, just like balancing the bat, became like a thing. Like this was it right here. This is my beauty bat. This was, I don't know, sweet spot baseball. So it's like, it's got some good weight to it, but it's not like a oh, this got 34 inches. It's like a real, I don't know what you would use this for, but I'm just sitting there balancing my bat. Like, no problems, no questions asked for 30 minutes, And to me, it became like, this is the most fun I've had in, I don't know, a fucking month, because we're dumb like that. And we used to play this game in my apartment on 28th Street. I lived at 388 3rd Ave. Shout out to whoever's gonna get people annoying you now because of that. We used to play a game called the chair game. We had a big, fat, brown, lazy boy recliner. And we had a little Nerf football. It wasn't actually brand Nerf, but you know what I mean. Squishy football, probably about this big. Watch on the YouTube. Head over to the Kevin Clancy Show. Subscribe on the YouTube. You can watch me bounce the bat. You can see what size ball I'm talking about. And we would, you had to throw the ball and make it land on the seat of the chair. Couldn't bounce off. It was harder than it looked because you're across the room and it bounces, it flies off. And if you landed it on the chair, you got a point. We called it chair game. And at that point, it was early Barstool days, so I blogged about it. And like I would have friends come over, like we would bring our girlfriends over, and they would have some guys come through, people who read the site, and they were like, "Yo, I gotta play chair game. Can we get around a chair game in?" Because we're just like dumb guys like that. So like some people had like a backhand technique to make it like roll and sit perfectly, and it was like playing like a version of beer pong or whatever. But in our world, there was chair game. We also had this fucking wooden painting, if you will. Imagine like a piece of puzzle of wood that you like put together. It was an owl. We hung it on the wall. Think about how stupid that is. When you had 4 dudes in their mid-20s living in Manhattan. You walk into an apartment like that, it's usually like bare walls, nothing there. How bad are guys' apartments, Jackie? You go to a guy's apartment now, like as far as the decor and the setup, it's always an absolute disaster, right?
USC guys are different.
Oh, USC guys are different. West Coast girl over here. So what, you would go to like a dorm room, or like you go to a guy's apartment? Like you're talking like at post college, you hang out with a dude who's like is in the real world, or a college dorm?
Oh, well, if it's post college?
Just you tell me. Like, so if you're hanging out with a guy who's mid-20s in USC now, early 20s, their apartment's
It's like an apartment.
Nice.
Well,
they
yeah.
know how to decorate. They know what they're doing.
Well, the guys that I'm picking.
Oh, shit. Okay.
No, also a lot of them they have like shit apartments.
I lived with a bunch of guys. Like the joke used to be that, and the joke was mine. I used to say, my friends are the gayest guys in America. Like these are the dudes I roll with are like the most metrosexual guys ever, where they're making sure like, you know, the right pink on their shirt matches the little fucking Vineyard Vines purple on their belt and all this shit. So they're making sure like the feng shui of the apartment looks good and all that. But at the same time, we're all still just like dumb asshole guys who don't know what we're talking about, who hung a wooden owl picture on the wall in the kitchen of all places. So we had like this long hallway kitchen, and we would take that same ball, and you just had to fucking whip it and make sure you hit the puzzle. And it was like 1 point for hitting it, no points for missing it. We would just come up with these dumbass challenges where like all of life is a competition, where you're just you're bouncing it off the wall, you're making it balance, you're hitting each other, whatever it is. And I feel like that's something that like goddamn cavemen were doing. And 1,000 years from now, when Elon Musk has put like a chip in your brain and you're coming up with, you know, your thoughts are manifesting into entertainment, there still will be a need for like, we saw it in COVID, where it was like, we got nothing to do, guys. Why don't we try to throw this bottle cap inside the Solo cup that's like 200 feet away, and it's got to go through the ceiling fan and down through the pipe and bounce off the table and then go in. Just and have you ever seen, Jackie, again, do girls ever do that stuff? You'll never catch a chick doing that. Do you and your dumb friends do those things?
Do like the games like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play like dumb shit all the time.
Yeah?
But also like my friends and I are
dumb.
like especially dumb.
So do you feel like the average girl group will do dumb shit like that, or are you like the exception?
I think that girls are, I think, dumber than you would think, but I think we might be like, I think the average girl might.
I think girls are
so.
dumber in different ways. Like, I think girls are actually dumb at times when it comes to life, like just make dumb decisions and stuff. But guys will be like, yeah, hey man, you want to like throw these bottle caps at each other? And it's just like the dumbest things that will keep us occupied. But you guys will like try to throw like Solo cups like inside of each other so they stick from across the room or whatever.
Yeah, we I mean, like, not that specifically, but like we'll like we have like a dartboard in our house, and we all like we didn't like we all. Like,
Oh
we'll
yeah,
put our
didn't you guys
hands
throw
up.
darts into each other's
Yeah, we, like,
hands?
try and do it into each other's hands. Like we'll like get in like.
This bitch is crazy.
Like
This
I
bitch is
think
crazy,
that we're
folks.
like a little just dumber than like the average girl group.
Drunk, dumb girls over there apparently in USC. They got nice apartments, but these chicks are idiots apparently. But there's that nostalgia from it all. That's like, but you know what's crazy? Even that, I'm like, God damn, I'm so old that I'm not even playing chair game anymore. I just want to be like dumb, young, dumb, and drunk again. Where like the simplest things. That's all that matters. Like the only thing that mattered for me in that like early this afternoon was how long that bat was going to bounce. I forgot for a second about bills, buying a house, feeding the kids, paying their tuition, meeting my goals at work, hitting my own bonuses, worrying about the team. All that mattered was balancing a bat. And there was a time in my life where literally all that mattered was balancing that bat. I can't believe that there was ever a time from 22 to 30 that I ever considered myself stressed. Like, nope, you were not stressed. The idea that I didn't have enough time. I used to say things like, I can't go to the gym, I don't have enough time, when I literally did nothing. It was like, you just go to work, dude. Otherwise, you have infinite time. I was like, nah, I can't possibly swing that. I can't go to the gym. I get off of work in the evening. It's too late. What? There was nothing but time. There was nothing but freedom. There was no stress, no drama. It's like, you truly don't know what you got till it's gone in all aspects of life, until it's too late. Like, I would love to time travel back to myself. We have that ATI question. It's like, if you could time travel, if you go back in time and find yourself, and you can only tell yourself 10 words, what would it be? And yeah, I would probably just say invest in Bitcoin or whatever. Like, don't worry, it's not a sham. Invest in Bitcoin. Make that fit 10 words. But the better advice would be something to the effect of like, do everything now because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get harder. It's only going to be more impossible. Boil that down to 10 fucking words, because that's like, man, you really don't understand how easy your life is in the beginning. And you couldn't until you have something to compare it to, which is like the rest of your life. Once things actually get difficult. Yeah, man, I'm so old, I'm about to die. But like the fact that I used to say I couldn't possibly cook tonight. I have to order out food because I don't have time to do that. Ridiculous, especially, and it still applies to this day. Right now, you can get HelloFresh and you can cook your meals in like 20 minutes, 30 max. Anytime you're reaching for your phone to go order delivery, and you're like, it'll be easier, it'll be quicker. No, it won't be. Your delivery will easily take 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes like an hour and 10 for me. I'm like, what's going on here? When I could have cooked 3 HelloFresh meals in the same exact time. You go to HelloFresh.com, you have an endless menu, an endless array of food options that all get delivered to you, all the ingredients you need to whip up your own meals with the pre-packaged ingredients, pre-portioned, so you don't have to worry about how much you're using. It's like, take this little Ziploc, put the whole thing in. It's not like, a pinch of this and a dash of that, where you have to like know what you're talking about. You put the whole thing in. You read the recipe card, you follow the instructions. It all works easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Literally lemon squeezy sometimes. They've got the foreign meals, they got the exotic meals, they've got the go-tos, they've got vegetarian options, they've got family options. They've got it all, and it's quick, it's easy. And speaking of that, like, when you're a younger guy and you're living in like a trash apartment, you want to try to become more of like an adult, you start cooking for yourself. Jackie, once again, you go over to you go to some guy's apartment and he knows how to cook. He's cooking you a dinner.
If it's HelloFresh,
forget about it. Like if you go over and a guy's like, you want to order like some Taco Bell, or if you go over and he's like rattling those pots and pans and serves you a home cooked meal, forget about it. Literally though, right? Not just even for the ad. That's legit, right?
No, like literally though, if he were to make me something, I'd be like, done.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over. And it's like a cheat code, because she's going to be like, yeah, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And you're going to be on the other side of things being like, I'm cheating. It's so easy. Like, it's not like I really know what I'm doing. You just follow the instructions. You plate it nice and it looks like I'm a gourmet chef. And in her words, it's over. And you really did nothing except follow the instructions on HelloFresh. And the best part right now is if you go to HelloFresh.com and use the promo code 12Clancy. It's HelloFresh.com/12Clancy, promo code 12Clancy. You get 12 free meals, which actually is like 24 because each meal is for 2. So you're eating for like a month. And you're impressing your dates, guys, girls. Everybody can cook these easy meals. They're delicious. And they're going to like change your life, for the better. Go to HelloFresh.com/12Clancy, promo code 12Clancy. Get your 12 free meals today. We're going to get into an old school rendition of 1 Minute Man. Nick, if you could actually do me the honors of timing me.
Yep, got it.
We'll see how this goes. The original idea for 1 Minute Man, I've explained it a couple times here on the podcast. 1 Minute Man has become this meteoric rise for me on Instagram with these daily videos where it was supposed to be, a quick 1 minute recap of the biggest news of the day. But I, being a loudmouth idiot New Yorker, cannot limit myself to 60 seconds, so I go way over time. But the original concept was we would pick 10 topics going around in the world today, headline news, current events, 10 topics, 60 seconds each. For a 10-minute subject, 10-minute segment. So we're going to try that here today, old school style. 10 topics on the clock. When I say go, you hit it. First topic, the Tik Tok drama. Hit it, Nick. I can't do the Tik Tok drama anymore. I used to do it. It's another edition of KFC from, what did I say? I would say, it's an update from the TikTok world for the people of age 25 who don't really care about TikTok, but secretly kind of want to know what's going on without having to sign up for it or dive in too deep because that would be embarrassing, but they don't be lame and not know what's going on. So here's the scoop. I would try to do it in an ironic way to be funny. I just can't do it anymore. We got this guy cheating with this girl cheating on this guy, and the friends are upset, and I start to realize I'm listening to teenagers talk like they're on the playground. This girl went on Alex Cooper's podcast. She says, I just found out that Jaden likes Nessa. Likes Nessa. That's like quite literally what you say when you're 13 years old. And I just can't do it anymore as a 36-year-old. Maybe it's because I got age dysmorphia, or maybe it's just because I'm aging appropriately. I know these people are millionaires. I know their demographic is huge. I know that plenty of people do care about it. When you got the commenters on the internet being like, who cares? I'll tell you who cares. Millions of people. But me and anyone my age shouldn't care.
Go.
Bam! 60 seconds on the clock. Number 2, Maitland Ward from Boy Meets World. Hit it. Maitland Ward, you know her from Boy Meets World. She was the redhead who she dated Eric, the older brother, for a little bit, right? There was that weird dynamic. There was that weird situation where she was like living with them. They were supposed to be like platonic roommates. What the fuck was that about? Maitland went into porn and now is saying that porn has opened up more doors for her and given her a legit acting career than she ever would have had. So she was like, I could have just been this child actress, not even child actress, but older, college age, done Boy Meets World, did the cult classic sitcom, and then flamed out. Instead, she decides to do a little fucky on camera, gets her name back out there, and now she's saying she's being approached by legitimate producers and directors who want to do real stuff. So, boom, chalk one up for the porn world. Because nowadays, when you got OnlyFans and a lot of more risque shit is allowed, I think that you can use it to your benefit. So yeah, you could have been a flame-out child star, but instead you fuck on camera for some money, and now you got yourself a whole new acting career. Boom! Topic number 3. Speaking of, we got Holly Madison from what was that called? From Girls Next Door. Hit it. Holly Madison back when on E! or Bravo, it was that show where Hugh Hefner lived with all his playmates, and he had those 3 main bottom bitches. But Holly Madison was like the bottom bitch. She was like the main girlfriend. And she went on, was that Call Her Daddy? Yeah, she went on Call Her Daddy as well. So Alex Cooper, once again, just running wild in the podcast world with a sit-down interview with her, where she said, can you imagine having sex with this old man in a room full of people watching you, and all those people actually hate you? Woo! That was a weird setup that, if you think about it, nowadays would never work. If you had one old dude who lived with a stable of women and they all had to fuck him and he was paying for their lives, I'm all down with the sugar daddy world. I'm all down for that consensual exchange of money for sex and all that. Fine, that's all good. But the fact that they were just doing it on television like that, and Holly Madison was subjected to fucking Hugh Hefner for his money with people with her, wild. Topic number 4. Making a Murderer. Hit it. Making a Murderer. The producers for Making a Murderer says that they have new evidence that could potentially prove that Stephen Avery didn't do it. I don't know about you. There was never a single moment that I didn't think Stephen Avery was the murderer. I know Making a Murderer came after the Jinx, and everyone was on that true crime tip, like, give me more, and they wanted it to be like controversial, like we got the wrong guy. Stephen Avery fucking did that shit. Brendan Dassey was involved, but he, don't have the brains for it, so I kind of let him slide. He's like too dumb to be a murderer. Stephen Avery fucking did it, and I don't care what evidence he has. I need to see like actual evidence of someone else on camera committing the murder, because otherwise there is nothing circumstantial you could ever tell me that might convince me that Stephen Avery didn't do that shit. Absolutely did it. So we'll see what you got, but Stephen Avery did that shit, and I never doubted it for a second. Continuing with True Crime here, episode 2 of the Case podcast. You can hit it. Episode 2 of the Case podcast from Kirk Minahan is out right now. They went down to South Carolina. Episode 2 is about faith. So this podcast is the story of, starts with a story in Brockton, Massachusetts, of Jennifer Fay, a girl who went missing in 1989. Episode 2, we leave Brockton, we travel all the way down to South Carolina, where we think that a girl who disappeared just a couple of years ago is linked to the kidnapping in 1989. Kirk Minahan put out one clip to promote the podcast, and they named a person of interest because there was a dude who lived in Brockton who now lives in that town in South Carolina, linked to both of those girls who both have gone missing. If Kirk Minahan solves a cold case that involves the disappearance and unfortunate probably 2 murders of separate girls, we will never hear the end of it. Kirk Minahan will be running up the score, having a victory lap for the next 30 years himself. Topic number 5, I think we're on. Speaking of police, hit it. Speaking of police activity and solving crimes, the NYPD has rolled out robot dogs. Police dogs. They look exactly like the Boston Dynamic dogs that like kind of run around on their tiptoes, little robots. Well, the NYPD, I guess, has officially put them into the force. We saw a video the other day of them doing a perp walk or something to the effect. I think they were walking around a school maybe, and they had officers walking around with this police dog. Now, I know every time the world's like, oh my God, this is the beginning and the end. Terminator 2, they're going to become self-aware, and these robot dogs are going to like kill us. I don't know. All I've ever seen the robot dogs do is bounce around on their toes. You know what's funny? They even had a clip of the robot dog laying down, like as if the robot dog needs to rest. You don't need to rest, dude. You're a robot. Forget about the police activity. What I'm interested in is this police dog that was peeing beer. They loaded the robot dog up with some beer, and then it looked like it was peeing, but it was just filling up your cup. That's the kind of robot dogs I need. I don't need them doing police work for me. I want you to bring me a beer. Give me the robot dogs that can give me a cold one. Topic number 6, Grimes. That's Elon Musk's girl. You can hit it. Elon Musk's girl she's a singer, rapper, and overall crazy person because she's married to or involved with Elon Musk. They're the ones that had that baby named AX13 Neon or some shit like that. Has a back tattoo full of alien scars, she's calling it. It honestly looks like someone like has whipped her. And it has like this intricate web of what looks like thick scars that she's calling alien scars. And I just can't even understand how fucking wacky life with Elon Musk and Grimes and AE13 Neon must be. Just think about what like a daily conversation is with Elon and Grimes. Where she just comes home, she's like, pop the top. She's like, hey, baby, look at my alien scars. And Elon's probably like, yeah, I'm going to give you the real ones next because we are aliens. Just a fucking wacky couple all over the place. Topic number 7, Trevor Bauer. What an asshole. Trevor Bauer had a couple of his balls removed. Baseballs removed from the game the other day because it looked like they had like illegal substances on them to some effect like that. Ken Rosenthal reports it. Ken Rosenthal, everybody's favorite little pint-sized baseball journalist. The guy is the real deal. One of the most respected, writers in the game. Maybe the only one I respect. See that Verducci article about Jacob deGrom? Kick fucking rocks, Verducci. But Trevor Bauer went on to call Ken Rosenthal like a hack blogger, and it's all fake journalism. It's like, dude, You are the guiltiest man in America, just rattling off these tweets, yelling at nobody because, you're getting caught, bro. You like to do like shady, weird shit, and you got caught, and now you're doing your regular shtick on the internet where it's very clear that you're thin-skinned and can't handle the accusations. And so now you're trying to deflect onto Ken Rosenthal and call him names, when the reality is it's you. You're a shady little fucker, and everyone knows it. Where are we at? 8? Topic 8? I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's go with topic number 9 here. Very popular blogger in New York came out to the world. I'm talking about me on the Out and About pod where I planted a fat, juicy kiss on the lips of Joey Camasta. He's from Snooki's podcast. So I went on Out and About with Pat. And me and Joey, we kissed, okay? And I had a passionate moment with Joseph, and the funniest reaction of all. I mean, how many people did you see immediately tweeting Feidelberg?
Just immediately.
I mean, just a flood of people being like, "What the fuck is this?" Like at Feidelberg, I can't believe you're cheating on Feidelberg. Like I thought your first kiss was gonna be with Fights. Who says we haven't kissed, by the way? But just one of those moments that made me take a step back and be like, oh, wait a minute. Boy, we've really been leaning into this quote-unquote joke for quite a long time here. Let me tell you something. There's two guys in this world that I've kissed. One guy is like my absolute best friend in the fucking world who he's, like I told you, he's one of these Metro super kind of gay guys. I'll kiss him, and then the other guy is random Joey. Only hung out with him a couple times. The most flamboyant gay guy in the world. Planted one on him right there. How about Joey having not had sex with someone in 6 years?
I was shocked by that. The stories that he's told on KFC Radio are aggressive.
But I guess when you think about it, it's always stories about him and like his dildo and never anybody else. Snooki quote tweeted me saying, "Oh my God, you're his first kiss in 5 years." I was like, okay, what a weird world we're living in. Topic number 10, wrapping up here. Which, by the way, impressive job. I mean, 1 minute each topic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my most concise appearance ever. DMX. And the world reacting to me and other white people reacting to DMX. It turns out that black people just hate when white people talk about rap. It's one of the craziest phenomenons I've ever seen. And so I asked Josh, our social media guy here, I said to him, dude, real quick, I mean, I kind of know the answer already, but why do black people hate when white people talk about rap? And his answer to me was, black people just hate when white people talk about anything. I was like, yeah, you're right. I get it. But it's one of the strangest phenomenons that I've ever run into. And it kind of ties in nicely to what I was just talking about with the nostalgia. Because when I look back on like the way I grew up, I fucking love hip-hop. I love rap music. I absolutely live it. So if I'm going to talk about DMX, I'm going to talk about him. That's just how it's going to go. Bam! 60 seconds. That was the tightest 10-topic, 1-minute man in the history of the fucking world. Shout out to me. Thank you. But I do want to expand upon that because it does, I guess as you get older, I think you tend to grow into your demographic, if you will. Like I'm a white dude. I mean, I was born in the Bronx, but ultimately I'm a white dude from the suburbs, middle class. And as I just get older and live life, that's where I'm gonna fall into. That's like who I am. I think you live up to your stereotype. You fall into your stereotype more and more as you get older. But there was a time growing up where like I was like living and breathing hip hop. Like, I mean, it was the most important thing to me. It was like sports and rap and even probably more so music. And like I said, you know, we drive into Sam Goody to buy the new albums. Like it was a weekly thing for us to pick up some sort of music, new or old. And there was a time where it was, you know, the most important thing to me. And so now when I talk about it, when someone like DMX dies and I go back and talk about it, I just have people who look at me and look at like who I work for and the other shit I talk about and my style and automatically are like, why the fuck will we give a shit about what this like, old white dude has to say about rap. And that's fine. You don't have to give a shit about what I say. If you don't like value my opinions, you don't like my work, like obviously that's totally fine. But it's like if you do fuck with me and a lot of my content for everything else, but all of a sudden you're like, nah, I'm not gonna listen to you talk about rap because you're a white guy, kind of just seems weird to me. Like I certainly understand that there are certain like parts of culture that are traditionally specifically for black people, and rap music obviously is probably like the one, and certainly mostly like dominated basketball mostly for a long time, as much as that's become like a global game, and certain styles of clothing and all that. And for the longest time I lived all of that. I mean, if you knew me growing up, I guess it started more when I was in the Bronx, but like there was a time like growing up playing basketball, I was like always one of the only white kids on the team, and then when I moved to the burbs and I kind of brought like that lifestyle with me, it was almost like there was the preppy kids, and then there was like the kids who liked rap and like I remember like growing up being like, I'd be in a basement party and there'd be the preppy kids and they would be wearing Eddie Bauer and like polo, and they'd be drinking like a lager that they stole from their dad or whatever, and they'd be playing beer pong, and then there'd be like my crew where we'd be wearing like Sean John and a Nietzsche and drinking 40s, being like, dude, we don't even need to play drinking games, we just like, no one needs to tell me when to drink, I just like to drink, because we were basically like too scared to play beer pong with the preppy kids. But that was like, those were the groups, kind of like the cliques in school, and part of like that group with me was like hip hop music. So if you talk to like the people I grew up with, they would know that like I was like living and breathing hip hop. I mean, there was a crew. I remember my boy 6 Sense. He's the dude who sings Up and Up. If you're familiar with the music from KFC Radio, he was a rapper who he had his own solo stuff, but he had a group called the Understudies. And he gave me I bought some turntables. He gave me all of his records. I used to like fuck around pretending to try to be a DJ. Never learned how to do any of it, but I loved to just like scratch records and the occasional blending of like an instrumental with some lyrics and acapella. But he took me to like, we would go to the Knitting Factory and we would watch like The Roots up front and up close and personal. We would like go backstage. I would be doing like late night studio sessions with him while he's making his music, and I'm doing some ad lib work for him. I remember going to like Scram Jones's house. If you're familiar with Scram Jones at all, like rolled by his house, I think in New Rochelle. Like dapping it up with him, like smoke a blunt with Scram Jones real quick while we're listening to his song Jackson Jacker. There's like things that like, I'm not saying I was like on the corner fucking freestyling and battling, but like it just was a huge part of my personality, and still is to the extent that like new music will allow me. I don't like any of the new stuff, and we'll talk about it in a minute with Funk Flex. Mumble rap versus the old shit, but it's funny, and again I get it and I get a chuckle out of it, and for the most part I usually do just be like, okay, I respectfully will like shut the fuck up, because I know where this comes from, and I understand that there's much more deep issues than just like, we're not just talking about music, we're talking about like there obviously like cultural issues between the two races. But when I was talking about DMX, the amount of people who like just hated me giving my opinion, it was interesting. It was like there was two layers to it for me. There was unfortunately talking about the passing of DMX, but then the reaction that I garnered talking about it. Like my initial tweet was like, when DMX first came out, nobody was like him, but unfortunately like he led a tragic life of addiction and abuse, and he could never keep it together, but when he was at his peak, he was that man. And the amount of people who like took that to be disrespectful, and I understand that, where you say like he couldn't keep it together when it was like the moment where he first overdosed. But to me, if you live a tragic life and you talk about that tragedy, I mean, to me, that's not taking a shot or really being disrespectful. I certainly, maybe not the most sensitive of things, but I think when you tell the story of DMX and you talk about his life and career, you have to talk about the tragedy. I also think that's another thing. To just detour from the idea of the like white people can't talk about rap for a second. I have come to like the point, maybe I've just been on Twitter long enough that it's it's not real life. And that's not to say that you just get like a free pass on anything, because nowadays in your world, your digital life like is your real life. But my point being that whether you are the type to tweet thoughts and prayers to DMX, positive vibes only, sending love their way, like that doesn't mean anything. That's not real. And you could also be an asshole being like, there are people who are like, DMX took the vaccine and that's why he died, trying to pin their anti-vax bullshit, trying to pin that on his death and using that as a way to talk about like COVID-19 and trash liberals and shit. Like, that's disrespectful and you're being an asshole, but that's not real either. And yeah, I'm sure if the family sees some of these things, they wouldn't be happy. But for the most part, we are here on this like hellscape of an app to have discussion and to talk about things. And some people are dumb and assholes, and some people are extra sensitive. But whether you say like thoughts and prayers, or you want to just have an honest discussion, like DMX was overdosed and probably was going to die, and I wanted to talk about his life and career, and part of that life and career is talking about the tragedy of it all. I don't necessarily think that's disrespectful. So many people did, and so many people, it came from a point of like, who is this fucking honky cracker who thinks he can talk about DMX? And, I think it's crazy, first of all, to gatekeep what you can and can't talk about in any way. But it's like, to be honest, I know you can look at me and see like I'm a pasty white cream cheese character, and why, stereotypically speaking, why would that guy know anything about DMX, or why should we listen to him, or why is he even talking about him? But just like anybody else, and probably way more so than the average person, I mean, DMX was like that dude for me, which is so fascinating, because he's not the, how in the world can I relate to like smoking crack and fighting dogs and the abuse he went through with his mother's boyfriends, and the life on the streets, and the life rapping, and even the religious aspect. Like, none of it relates to me on a direct level. I also think none of this stuff relates to a lot of people, because he was so unique and so different. But nonetheless, I listened to that music, and for whatever, I thought it was cool. I thought it was hard and tough, but also at times like deep and introspective. And I thought he had like the coolest character and persona, and that toughness and confidence, while also like never was a dude so confident and like in your face, like, oh my God, don't fuck with me, in the same breath as like, I'm struggling so much and I want to be a better man, but like I can't be, Such an interesting dichotomy between the two that nobody could pull that off. And so whether or not you could relate to it on a literal level or like a metaphorical level, kind of like I did, there was something about it that, and just on the flow and the silliness, the barking and the growling, it was unlike anything I'd ever heard. So I listened to it and I fucking loved it. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you're white, we don't care. It's crazy to me. Again, I understand it, but there is nothing that black people hate more than white people talking about rap. And like I talked to my boy Kaz from Say Less with Kaz, used to be on Flagrant 2. Now he's doing work for the WWE and MSG, and we always, whenever there's a new Versus, the first thing I'm doing is texting with Kaz, and he even said it on this podcast when I got introduced to his co-host Low Key. He was like, yo, don't judge a book by its cover, like Kev knows what he's talking about. And it's funny that it's like, yeah, I get it. You take a look at me, and especially as I get older and older, I'm going to, like I said, conform more and more to that demographic and how I'm supposed to look, that stereotype. But I like lived it, and I know it, and I can have a deep discussion about him and a lot of people from that era that that it would just be like, shut the fuck up, because you're white and we don't want to hear about it. And that reaction from Josh when it was like, no, it's not just hip hop, they just don't want to hear you talk about anything. Fucking, it cracks me up, man. It's a very interesting dynamic that, and it does kind of suck though, because there are times when I'm very aware of it and I want to like talk about a rapper or talk about something musically, talk about verses, give my opinion, and it's immediately met with just like, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, okay, whatever. Hey, if you're going to talk about profiling and racial injustice or whatever, I've come out on the right side of that for quite a long time. If the worst that I see is that people won't take my hip hop tweets seriously, I think I can live with that. I think I'll be allowed to. But by the way, what I do want to do, in reminiscing about DMX, I looked at when his albums first came out, because that first year when he did Stark and Hell is Hot and then Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, only like 6-7 months apart, I was saying how 1998 DMX owned that year. That was the year of X. Nobody else could touch it. And then I started looking at the discography of that year. I mean, the amount of fucking albums that came out, from like Outkast with Aquemini, one of like the greatest, most classic hip hop albums in the world. Like back when the source was something and 5 mics meant something, and Aquemini got 5 mics, and it was like, holy shit. From that to The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, 1998, to Moment of Truth with Gangstar, Don Cartagena, Capital Punishment with Big Pun, Don Cartagena with Fat Joe. Like the albums that came out, the rap albums that came out, 400 Degrees with Juvenile when the South started to come in. Unbelievable year for hip hop. And again, I think thinking about that nostalgia, all this episode is tied together nicely. I remember that era of rap, and it kind of then like in 99 was when we like Chronic 2000 was coming out, Chronic 2001, and Eminem started like his rise, and Get Rich or Die Trying after that. There was a run where it was like almost just expected as a hip hop fan, like, oh, every year we'll get like several classics. Well, like each year you'll get, 3, 4, maybe 5 albums that you'll be listening to for the rest of your life. That I just grew accustomed to it. And I guess it probably could even date back further if you want to go like 92, when you have like the original, like the early 90s, you have like the original Chronic and West Coast dominating, through towards the mid 90s with like Nas, into like Tupac with when he got out of jail, into Biggie and Jay, and then they passed, Pac and Big, and then X comes on the scene. Like when rap was all glitz and glamour and hoes and champagne and partying and yachts, and then DMX came through with like, I'm gonna rap songs, like I'm gonna do stick up songs where I'm robbing you, and I'm gonna have metaphorical. Let me just say, let me read you this. And again, I don't mean this to be I don't mean it to be like disrespectful. Again, because white person talking about rap, you say the wrong thing, you're the asshole. But looking back at some of the shit that DMX said, and you can do this with Eminem, you can do it with, a lot of rap lyrics that are just, imagine them today. So DMX, I don't even remember which song this is, but he has some songs that like were painting pictures of like crime and violence, but like on X is Coming, DMX has some lyrics, man. Trying to send the bitch back to her maker, and if you got a daughter older than 15, I'm a raper. Take her on the living room floor right there in front of you, then ask you seriously what you want to do. Frustrating, isn't it, when they kill me, but I'm gonna kill you. Now watch me fuck a little while longer, please, will you? Just like, holy fucking shit, man. When you're coming from a place of darkness when those are the lyrics you're spitting. And I think like Eminem used to do it more in like a, not in a funny way, but in like a, I'm trying to be controversial and trying to like get a rise out of you, where DMX was just like, I've seen some shit, I have some demons, these are the dark thoughts that run through my head, and I'm painting a picture of like crime and violence that's just like, whoa. And I think it's all in the name of like artistic freedom or liberty, whatever you want to call it, because we have seen the other side of DMX in his death, with so many good stories of him being generous and kind and all that shit. But like when he was in the studio behind the mic and he wanted to make a song about robbing you, or making a song about the devil, or making a song about, his darkest shit, it was not a fucking joke, man. It was some crazy shit. And that time, that era. And by the way, I can't believe it's like, so again, all this tying nicely together. That era of people, 80s babies and 90s kids who grew up listening to people like Eminem and DMX, and like I saw Kat Timpf had a tweet like about this is the era that grew up on Cartman boiling his friend's parents alive in a bowl of chili. How did that era of kids grow to become the sensitive era, the cancel culture era. Like, we were all watching that South Park and listening to DMX and Eminem, and we were growing up on the internet, Faces of Death and all this crazy shit. And I don't know, maybe the pendulum went so far one way that a lot of these people who became journalists and writers and activists, it swung back the other direction. But I'm just thinking about me, myself, like when I grew up rapping these lyrics, like, and if you got a daughter older than 15, I'm a raper, take her on the living room floor. Like, I'm singing this shit like it was not even a fucking care in the world. I'm singing along with Eminem talking about killing his fucking, his baby mama and kidnapping the kid. How could I have ever grown up to then become like sensitive about my words and sensitive about jokes and punchlines and shit? I don't get. Maybe it was like we went too far with it, and then there needed to be a course correction. But I'll never understand how my people. I call us the greatest generation, but then I have to admit that there's some people in my era that are probably leading the charge. I would like to think it's more Gen Z, but I'm sure there are people in my generation, like that elder millennial group, that are being the oversensitive ones, and that's disheartening. That's a little bit sad. But anyway, back to the good part of that era. I do want to do something kind of with a nod to the year of 1998 for rap music. Unfortunately, they just fucking changed the rules. They just changed the copyright, like, legal rules. And I don't know what took them so long, but we've been dealing with when you put out videos and when you do YouTube and shit, you can't use other people's music. You can't use other people's video content. Everything gets hit with copyright rules and strikes against your account or even lawsuits. But for the longest time, we were able to play music on podcasts. That's why KFC Radio opened up with The Greatest Show and closed with Kid Cudi, and the Kevin Clancy Show used to open up with Outkast. And now we can't do that anymore. And one time we did a whole special. Are we taking down old stuff or no? Anything that's pre-existing?
It's staying up. We are probably going to have people go edit out.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is tell you right now, if you are interested, if you grew up like I did in that era and you like that hip-hop music, what we did was when Jay-Z's music was finally off of Tidal and available on Spotify and Apple Music and whatnot, we sat down and we did like a 2-hour podcast special where we just traveled through the discography of Jay-Z. We started with his early shit and Reasonable Doubt all the way through 444, where we played clips of his songs and talked about what was going on in the world at that point and our own reactions, and we did this whole like audio podcast tribute to his music. And I would have loved to do that with DMX, talking about those first albums, and like he was the first rapper to ever have 5 straight #1 albums, and like the way he used to mix and match his soft stuff with his hard stuff. Unfortunately, can't fucking do that. Or maybe I could. You think I could get away with one more? Or you think anything new is gonna be a problem?
I almost think it's worth it, even if we just put it on YouTube and like just don't monetize it. We might be able to get away with that.
So is that the problem with YouTube? I can put music on YouTube, but as long as it's not monetized, there's no strikes. Because I don't want to get any strikes.
I've got to double check. I'll talk to our YouTube girl here.
Or is there another platform? Can I put it on like a?
I mean, we could put it on
Vimeo or just like on Instagram.
We just put it on Barstool too.
But I could do because you can do reels and shit like that on Instagram now. Could I do like a 30-minute, an hour-long, 2-hour-long IGTV?
So video? I've been hit for just regular posts having music in them. Reels, they kind of let it go, but I don't know. With IGTV, I know you could upload to an hour, so
right,
possibly. Let me ask about that.
Okay, because I think that'd be. Yeah, right? I mean, and I know from a fucking corny white boy, corny white dad, you don't want to hear it. But I also think that there's some interesting, you're going to hear it from a different angle. So maybe we'll do that with DMX. But also, just that year of 1998, I would love to have been like, look at how many fucking classic albums and songs. And look, it happened in 97, it happened in 98, it happened in 99, it happened like through 2003 with Get Rich or Die Trying. And like, there was just this era of music that never missed. Every album from every star. And I know I'm an old man yelling at the cloud, and I know you'll tell me like, oh, it was the same way. Like, it was Juice WRLD, and then before him was Lil Uzi, and before him was this, that, and the year 2017, 18, 19 couldn't miss. But I don't know, man. You're going to tell me that's going toe-to-toe with It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Aquemini and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and all these albums that were like, oh yeah, that'll be next Tuesday and a month from there and that Tuesday. And it just kept on fucking coming. So somewhere, somehow, some way I want to do like a music tribute to that album, to that year and that era. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if anybody wants to hear it from a white boy, you know? So if you do have a problem with that, you know, you got to get some help. You got to go to betterhelp.com and talk it out. You got some anger issues. You got some DMX type darkness that you got to get out. betterhelp.com. It's an online therapy service where you don't need to go to an office. You don't need to do anything face-to-face, which is great for multiple reasons. Obviously right now with COVID concerns. But two, sometimes it's hard and it's awkward and there's still a little bit of a stigma and there's still a little bit of you know, an uncomfortability to go to an office and wait in a waiting room and like you got your hood up. You don't want anybody to see you. You don't want people to know you've got issues that you're discussing. Now, none of that should be the case. People should be able to, we should all as a society just get over that and let people go to therapy and not have any pressure or anything attached to it. But between COVID and between the realization of that, like the reality of that situation, it's nice to have some virtual options. So that's what BetterHelp does. They bring you can do so little as text. If you just need to text a therapist, they've got you. You want to pick up the phone and call them and just talk to them, you got that. You want to do a video chat, face-to-face, but you don't have to go anywhere, they've got that. That's the most popular option right now because you still have the face-to-face activity, but you don't have to worry about, you know, going anywhere or waiting rooms or truly being face-to-face where it can get kind of awkward. You can go to betterhelp.com/Clancy right now and you'll get, what's the discount? You get a discount on your first month. So you get 10% off your first month. So if you have any anxiety about the bills, the cost of it coming up, we got you covered on a discount for that first month. It's betterhelp.com/Clancy, 10% off your first month of virtual therapy that can help you everywhere from the written word to the spoken word to video, every different virtual connection you can have at betterhelp.com/Clancy. So let's get into a Funk Flex now. Funk Flex is a legend around these parts. And I think he's big enough that people know him everywhere. But certainly in New York, if you listen to Hot 97, again, 80s baby, 90s kid, Hot 97, blasted hip-hop and R&B, #1 in New York City. Like, he was that dude with the fucking bomb drops and the name. I mean, every rapper was dropping them. Hey, yo, Flex, drop a bomb to that. He had his own albums with The Tunnel. He had his own records that he was spinning. But he's a true blue radio personality, obviously. And you forget that like, yeah, he was a music DJ, but also the dude could talk. We had ourselves a conversation that I think was kind of proving my point of why it doesn't have to be like, yo, who cares about this white boy talking about hip hop? Because me and Flex sat down and you would have thought that me and him were like brothers. I mean, we talked for like an hour and a half where it was just like, you know, we look different. And we probably have plenty of differences. But also, when we get going, we're dapping it up. We're laughing. We're clowning. As soon as I told him I was from City Island in the Bronx, this happens to me every time. I talk to a ball player, a rapper, somebody who, you know, is opposite of me. And then as soon as I tell them I'm from City Island in the Bronx, we start talking about their favorite restaurants, their favorite seafood, who they took there, when they went there, their experience with it. Next thing you know, it's all love. I should have just done that from the jump, because he loved me right away after that. It's like the ace up my sleeve. It's like, guys, we're cool. It doesn't all have to be black and white. We can all eat, you know, Sammy's Fish Box together. If you're familiar with the island, you understand what I'm talking about. But me and Flex, it's funny. I want to talk about rap. I wanted to talk about DMX. At that point when we recorded, DMX passed as soon as we wrapped up the interview. So he was still on life support when we did it. And I wanted to just talk about DMX. I wanted to just talk about hip hop and rap and music. You'll hear in the interview several times I kept saying, like, that's just like, I'm sure that's the same way in the hip hop world. I'm sure that's just like entertainers in rap. I'm sure that's just like you on the radio, Hot 97. And he came in and he just wanted to talk sports, which is cool with me. I feel like that happens a lot where I feel like you can get bigger guests if you let them talk about what they want to talk about sometimes, you know? It's like Flex has probably talked about, and not to say that Flex is some end-all, be-all, but, like, you know, it's a interesting, unique get for me. And he wanted to talk about Pete Rose and baseball and steroids and all that and contracts. I'm going to let him talk. It was like I was teaching him about sports and how it works with the Mets and baseball here in the city, and he's teaching me about how, you know, rap records work with what DJ plays them and who gets, you know, money for it and how a track blows up. It was a very interesting conversation. And again, I would have loved to get some more about DMX on it, but I brought the topic. He gave his points and then kind of moved on, so I don't want to belabor it. And, you know, I'm always down to just kind of let the conversation go where it goes, and that's what Flex was talking about. So an absolute legend for me today in my upbringing here on the Kevin Clancy Show. So Funk Flex, let's talk to him. All right, let's do
was
it.
Was it in Boston because the owners and everybody was in Boston?
Yeah, so it started out in Boston. Dave, it started out just like a one sheet, like a flyer, like a gambling flyer with like, here are the picks for the night. And that got real popular. It eventually became like those free newspapers that you get in the subway up in Boston. And then right around that time was when like blogs and the internet was really popping off. So we put it on the web. And around 2009, that's when I started. He was like, he wanted to branch off into other cities. So the idea was to have like satellite cities all over. Okay. So we did like New York first, then Philly, Chicago, Baltimore. And then we got big enough that it was like, let's all get under one roof in New York so we can get cameras and studios and like do it up real big, you know? So it like blew out and then like kind of came in. So, but, and you know, Boston's just not as, you know, Dave was like, let's come down to New York where there's going to be athletes and entertainers and people coming through for the late night shows and stuff like that. So a lot more guests and all that. So it's crazy though, man. Yeah. But I mean, listen, dude, Flex is here. And I mean, if anybody knows about longevity and making it last, and I mean,
God, right?
It's you, man. How many years would you say like in the game now?
Oh man, too many. Great.
Too many.
A lot. You know what? I stopped counting.
Yeah.
I want to say several, super several.
Yeah. There we go. Super several years in the game,
several,
man.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, you look better. You look as good as you ever have been. You've been like on top of the game. I mean, it's like you're aging backwards. I feel like.
I was a lot heavier.
Trimmed down big time, man.
In my earlier years, what do I do? The 40-day reset. I'm not gonna lie, I did a little bit of lipo too.
Fuck yeah, right?
I did the 40-day reset to kind of get to where, you know, that was like a little 25, 30 pounds, and then, you know, I looked at certain parts of my body, and I was like, you know what, man, let me get a little 6-7 pound trim off someplace here. So
dude, what's the point of, you know, being successful and making some money if you can't do the things that make you happy, right? I'm all about it. I'm like, do whatever makes you happy, feel better, right?
Absolutely.
Shit,
you know,
I can't.
Feel good.
When people judge that, it's like, if you could, you would. You know what I mean?
I don't mind. You know what? I'm a firm believer that people should have an opinion. Like, I'm okay. You know how some people call things hate?
Yep.
I'm all right with it. You can have an opinion as long as you're okay when I give my opinion. That's all I ask for.
Brother, that is the name of the game, man. I mean, I feel like I've got more haters than anybody on the internet, and it usually stems from me just having my opinion, and I stick to it, and I say it, and I'm not backing down, and people don't like that sometimes. That's what I've learned on the internet, man.
Then you shouldn't be. Well, then you shouldn't be on social media if you don't like it.
That's what I mean. It's like that's this game, you know. And if you take it personal and you've got thin skin, and you can't handle it, then what are you even doing here? You know what I mean?
It's amazing how the game had not. I don't even want to say change, but you know, you have your favorite sports stars, you have your favorite athletes, and you know, the Jordan era, you couldn't get on Twitter and say, I fucking hate your guts or whatever, right?
Right,
So,
you could get to people. Like, you can get right at people now, man.
So, you know, we know people always do that debate. I mean, it was a different time. Now you can say, but you know, you got a lot.
Where do you fall in that debate?
In terms of in the LeBron Jordan debate. You know what? I mean, I do believe that LeBron is a better all-around athlete.
Which it's almost hard to deny that.
Than Jordan.
You know, his size, his athleticism. It's just.
I mean,
it's not a knock on Jordan. It's just like LeBron's a freak.
It's just what it is when you see it. And I think I think Jordan's great as well. I mean, from watching what was the documentary?
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Yeah.
It seems. Look, this is just me outside looking in. What was the GM from Chicago?
Jerry Krause, was it? Jerry Reinsdorf,
you
the
could say
owner. Krause.
You could say what you want about him. You know, he seems to be the subject of which
Talk about hate. A lot of people hating on him.
But he seems like he orchestrated, fully thought out who would perform the best with Jordan.
Right.
And
because that's not just a talent thing, you know what I mean?
No.
Because what I think separates Jordan, and I think what's cool about it is you can apply that. It's not just basketball. You can apply that to business, to music, to anything. Is like up here, you know? Like LeBron.
Is basketball IQ?
Yeah, basketball, but even more than that, just like that killer instinct and that balancing. Like he's arrogant, but not in a way that rubs you wrong, in a way that makes you want to be better. And it's like, you know, you can be an arrogant boss, a CEO, a captain of a team, whatever, and people might be like, man, fuck you. You know, you're selfish. It's all about you. Or you can do it in a way where people are like, I have to get to that level, or I have to try to get to that level. And he did it in a way that actually inspired people rather than rubbing them the wrong way. Because there's plenty of athletes who do it the other direction, and it tears the team apart. You know?
Someplace else.
Right. And I think that's where he was just a savage on a whole other level.
And, you know, at the end of LeBron's career, you're going to be able to look at a man that really put together multiple different player teams.
Yep.
And
different franchises.
And won a few championships
People
in a few
kind of
different
knock
cities.
it. Yeah, see, I think when you jump ship in sports, when you jump ship from like your original team that you don't win with, and you go to a super team, whatever, it's a negative, right? But then he went back and won one, and then he goes here, and then he goes there, and eventually it becomes a positive because it's like wherever I go.
It's built after that. It's not like he goes and it's already popping.
No, it's like, and you know, people say like Anthony Davis. It's like, yeah, but they were able to pull that trade off. They could unload everybody else because now they got LeBron. It doesn't matter. Just bring one guy with them and you're good. And I think that becomes. I think when it's all said and done, that will be viewed more as a positive, like down the road when people are looking back. Right now, it's like you can't do. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time. But
what was the one he came down from like 3-1 or something?
Yeah, against the Warriors, the best team ever, 73-9 Warriors, and he was down 3-1.
We're not gonna
came
see
back
that
and
again.
I mean, never.
You know, it was in watching that finals. What was so interesting, on top of the LeBron's ball play, was the psychological breakdown of how he, you know, first stepping over. Was it Desmond? What was the guy's name?
Draymond Green.
He, you know, stepping over him, breaking his concentration, right?
Yep.
Breaking him down emotionally.
Yep. Again, it's more of here, you know.
Like if I could just get through today,
one at a time,
and
right?
then I'll break you guys down some other way tomorrow. Like that's
And again, I think that's more than sports. You know, I think you can apply that to a lot of things. I'm sure it's like that in the music industry.
And there was a couple times he was arguing where I think he didn't really care.
Right.
But if it's going to motivate my team, I'm going to argue about it.
It's an art form, man. It's like it's an act in certain ways. It's fascinating to see on that level. You know, when you are so good, where it's like I do that next level shit that you can't do physically, you can't do mentally, you can't do emotionally. There's certain people, like very few people in the world, that are just wired different throughout history. Whether it's, you know, whatever, all walks of life. It's like you got to have the perfect DNA with the perfect mentality with the perfect work ethic. You put that all together, and now you're like a legend. You know.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yeah.
Because I have a problem.
Oh, do you?
I have it's a huge problem for me. I am distraught and unhappy that Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame.
Really? I would not imagine that Funk Flex is losing sleep at night over Pete Rose.
I am the biggest Pete Rose fan.
Charlie Hustle. What about him?
You know, in his early years, being he's not I hope he doesn't get offended. I mean, I've tried to beat him. You know, like I want a picture, I want everything. But
is that your one? Like your one?
I got a few.
Yeah.
I got a few. Carlton Fisk. I got a few. I like. Well,
Old school
I'm
guy,
a Mets fan.
I know. I was gonna say. I feel like you're a Mets fan.
I'm a Mets fan, but
I'm
there's
Mets through and through.
individuals
Right. I
that
feel
I
that.
like.
I totally feel that. As long as you don't have any Yankees on that list, brother.
You know what? It was
Nope,
too easy.
don't say it. Don't
It was
say
too
it.
easy to be a Yankee fan. Like
Yeah,
it was
fuck
too
that.
easy. It was too easy. Just for the record, every Red Sox fan in New York is a Yankee hater. I don't care what anyone says. For you to be able to walk in Manhattan with a red hat, that means you hate.
I'm that way too. I mean, I love the Mets, but I feel like my hate for the Yankees is the same level. I mean, I listen. I'm a Mets fan that grew up in the Bronx, so I was behind enemy lines my whole life, you know. And so every classmate, every girl I wanted to date, everybody at the park, everybody on the court, everybody was a Yankee fan, always clowning me.
Well, I hate them. When we had Joe Torre, he was a bum, and for some reason, I don't care what anyone says about the Yankees. When you have Don Zimmer and Stoudemire on your bench, the manager doesn't matter anymore. You're gonna.
You already got those minds.
You're gonna win. But Pete Rose, far from the best base runner, far from the best hitter, no power. Didn't have a strong arm. You know, like just it was his effort, his energy to play the game. And personally, I do think with steroids and everything else that's come into baseball, all the other things we've seen now players do, from stealing signs to everything else.
Totally.
Pete is being held out for not being humble.
I agree. I feel like if he handled that situation differently, he probably would have been in by now. But he was so defiant at first, and I'm sure there's behind the scenes politics type shit with the commissioners and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, after all the other transgressions we've seen in baseball, I know gambling gets dicey because if you ever do bet against your team and you're talking about throwing games,
and you control, and you can't control the point spread,
right?
Taking out relievers, putting in relievers. How are you going to call the plays? I get it,
right.
But I mean,
but I also think a guy like, I do kind of believe him. I don't know. Sometimes I think what wins out, like a gambling addiction or like your crazy competitive mentality, because a guy like that,
his ego, he's not getting this since his team.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
His ego.
Like he's like, I'm one of the best baseball players ever. I'm gonna beat you, and I'll bet on myself. And I feel like that I do. Maybe that's naive, but I do believe
because there's a few bums. Bert Blyleven. There's a few bums in the Hall of Fame, bro.
Right?
There's a few
some
bums.
of these fucking guys. It's like, what is? And then there's some guys on the outside looking in that it's like,
there's a few kiss ass guys.
Yeah. Again, all politics and shit, man. You know,
which is
Bert Blyleven. That's a good one.
I don't know why it bothers me so. I mean, I think Dawson's in. Andre, is he in?
I don't know. That would be another one. That's
but no disrespect to them. It's just like, if you really think of the game's energy, you weren't the guys.
No,
I
feel like the Hall of Fame to me has to be like, at least for a time. I mean, you got to have like the numbers to back it up and shit, but also there has to be like a period of time where you were like that dude. You know what I mean? Where it was like you were the feature of the league. You were the most feared. You were the best glove, whatever it may be. And some of those guys were never those dudes. They were nice players and they were great on the team, but
and sometimes you have, rest in peace, like a Tony Gwynn. You know, he wasn't in a popular city,
right?
But his numbers is
staggering.
Is overwhelmed.
You ever hear some of those stats with him? We used to play a game here. We used to like make things up, and the game was like real or fake, because some of the numbers, it's like Tony Gwynn only swung and missed like 16 times a whole season, and it's like number. I'm making that one off the top of my head, but things like that were just. And Greg Maddux is the same way with pitching, where it's like he never had like a 3-ball count for an entire year, you know. And it's just like some guys are so surgical with it, where again it's just next level.
The part of the game that they have taken away, you know, a guy going into the 6th or 7th having an amazing game, the pitch count might be the stupidest thing.
Dude, how about they take out Jacob deGrom the other day? 77 pitches.
Oh, I didn't know that.
First game of the year. They obviously, you know, so you're rested, and then they didn't play because of COVID. So he's like extra rest. He's cruising.
Let me go.
77 pitches. They take him, and then they lose the game.
That's the only thing I don't understand. You know something? I guess it's almost like saving the pitcher for down the line in the season.
Yes, but you got to get there first.
Some of you motherfuckers ain't gonna like. You know, you may have go for a better season before the All-Star break and kind of take it.
I mean, listen, the New York Mets are not in a position to be like taking things for granted. Like, we'll save him for down the road. Like,
No.
we've had our troubles. Like, we got to get there first. And a guy like that who like knows his body and is all professional, like, he'll tell you if he needs to come out. 77 pitches ain't the time, man.
So you think Pete is going to get into the Hall? That concerns me.
I unfortunately don't know if he'll live to see it.
Oh,
but I
my
think
God.
one day, you know, just like a more modern commissioner comes along, somebody who's just like, you know, who cares?
They
Like,
use
this
them
is
for
silly.
everything else, though. If
I
you
know.
the all-century team, or
Yeah.
it'll be something they have going on in Cincinnati, you're like, okay. And he, you know, you ever watch him talk baseball, man? That guy, like,
Just different, right?
he's a trench.
Yeah. It's like there are certain guys that
And I'm not a
it
Reds
becomes,
fan. I like Johnny Bench. I mean, I like.
Yeah, I
some-
mean, again,
I'm not a Reds
individuals,
fan,
you
though.
know,
Yeah, I
like some
some
legends of the game.
individuals.
But there are people, and I mean, I'm sure you see this in music too, where it's like there are people who play baseball. There are people who make rap records, and then there are people who live it. You know, it's
live it.
just in their blood. It's who they are, and that's all they do. That's all they want to do. That's all they can talk about. That's all. And I think that that's not something you can like teach or try to become. That's either you got it or you don't. You know.
Why do you think even before COVID? Because I'd love to know your take on it. Why do you think before COVID, baseball was having a struggle, like in the seats, the interest, what do you think's the problem?
It's a weird one because we always hear baseball's dying. It's a dying sport, but then like their revenue will be, you know, higher than it's ever been. But I think there's no denying that you put a room full of like 10-year-old kids and ask them like who their favorite athletes are or what sports they're watching. It's not baseball. And I don't know whether that's just like the style of the game where it's slow and, you know, it's more about precision.
It feels like
and
3
finesse.
hours. An average one's what, 3 hours?
Yeah, at least you know
Easy.
7 o'clock game. You're going to like 10:30. You know, extra innings at 11 o'clock. It's a long game. And it's not there's not big fucking highlights of dunks and big hits like in football and stuff like that.
It doesn't look good in social media.
So that's the other problem is that they don't allow social media either. It's the most backwards shit in the world.
To the game?
Major League Baseball, like we, and this is why the NBA is global and why the NBA is so popular. Somebody crosses you over, that's on the internet right away. People just filming off the screen like regular people. And then if the NBA puts out highlights, we can retweet it.
You can't have your personal phone, nothing in there?
If we tweet, I think right now I have 2 strikes against me on my Twitter account from like filming off my screen and being like, look at this home run. And if I get another one, like my account's
Even
gone.
at home?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, the sport.
They don't know, which is it's free promotion, it's free advertising, and it's like, and you have these kids. Like your problem is that you don't have the youth involved. And what are the kids doing? They're on their fucking phone. They're on social media, you know.
You gotta hit them there.
And you know, like I mean, I grew up watching SportsCenter in the morning. That's where I got my highlights. And that's where I saw players that aren't in my town. Now that's gone and it's on the computer.
I was this week in baseball.
Yeah, but you know you had to watch something like that to learn about players like on the other cities and across the country and shit. And now it's all on the computer.
And the commentator made it exciting.
Absolutely.
He would say like just something little as wow, time and time again he does. So you go, oh, he's done this before.
Yes, you know, like this guy is that dude. But now you do it on your phone. You just open up your whatever social media you're on. And if baseball doesn't allow their product to be on there, only through their like verified accounts, but if you don't follow them and shit, you're not going to see it. So you got a guy like Mike Trout, and it's like he's one of the best of all time, and nobody knows it because you're not letting. I mean,
you don't let him be seen.
Could you imagine again to compare it to other industries? If you had an artist who was big, if you had a singer, you've had a whatever, and there was somebody like, no, we can't put that on the internet. What?
I don't love the stadium experience like I did when I was a kid.
Me neither. I'm so much more of a home guy. Put me on the couch. I got my computer, my phone.
Commentating is missed.
Yeah, I mean, as a Mets fan, especially, like you get Gary, Keith, and Ron. I mean, you get Keith Hernandez in the game. I'd much rather listen to Keith Hernandez, shooting the shit, than sitting at the ballpark now. It's a better experience.
Okay, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
You can say whatever the fuck you want here.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Keep it. Well,
let it rip.
Wait. Well, you said the experience. So, I'll tell you. Well, since we're Mets talk, I'm disappointed in the new stadium. I know it's got great food, great everything, great. you don't give motherfuckers great everything when they're not fucking winning. That's number one. So that
You
part
gotta
I don't
earn it.
understand. Do you believe that Keith Hernandez did bring all that cocaine, like they say, to the '86 Mets?
Absolutely, dude. That team. You ever read that book, The Bad Guys One? It's all about the '86 Mets and just
I
their
have not.
antics. Dude, they used to do this shit when they were going on the road.
Uh-huh.
They would terrorize the plane. They actually, I think it was like Delta, a couple like of the big airlines, like were like, you're banned. We will no longer fly you.
No longer.
They would take steak and they would tie it to the bottom of their shoes
Why?
and stomp around with steak shoes, just because they're assholes, just because they're
'Cause assholes
coked up,
and
maniacal. Yeah, I mean they were winning, they were dominating, and they were like all on fucking coke, and we're just like, whatever, man. We're like, they were like a rock band
Rest
who
in
happened
peace
to play
Gary
baseball.
Carter. He died so
Yeah, man, that was
early.
sad. Mhm,
But
he was like, I feel like if it wasn't for him, I feel like he kind of like
he was a glue.
kept it together a little bit. Like, you're all maniacs and you're young and you're crazy and you're all doing drugs, but like we got a job to do here. I feel like without him, I don't know if they would have got it done.
Keith, I guess, didn't he win with the Cardinals a few years before?
I feel like he would have
brought that
been
winning
considered
attitude.
a Cardinal. Like it's wild that he,
And he's so
Met.
dedicated to the Mets.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because the Cardinals is a historic franchise. He was very good for them.
He's a New York guy.
Yeah,
Even though
got
he's
that.
not, he has New York swag.
Yes, exactly that. I interviewed him once. He was supposed to come in. He couldn't, and so he was like, "Fuck it, let's just do it on the go. Like, you want to just hop in the car with me? I got to eat lunch." And I just sat next to him in the truck, and like as he was driving to his next event, and I just shot the shit with him that way. And it was almost so much better than just doing like a formal interview, because he's
Been like
that dude.
He been like 4 or 5 years. He had that coolness of I'm a guy. I can tell you plays that people don't even care about. I'm for the underdog. So if it's I remember guys like a Mike Jorgensen or like
in my era, a
guys
little bit
who
later,
played good but didn't. You know what I mean? They never got the recognition.
Yes, one of my favorite players from that 2000 team when they went in the Subway Series is Jay Payton. I don't know why. It wasn't Piazza, it wasn't Olrud, it wasn't Ventura. It was Jay Payton was my guy.
Do you remember the city that week?
Dude,
do you remember?
It was they.
Do you remember? You could walk down 7th, and either they had it on a Met hat or a Yankee. There was no in between.
No.
There was but everyone.
I know.
Everyone. What was they lost?
We got
Four
smoked,
games
bro.
to 1.
Yeah, we got smoked, bro. And that was the shame of it all. Was the Yankees late '90s were obviously a juggernaut, but not that year. They won I think they won 80 something games. They were barely above 500 really, but they just
The Magic and Bobby. Was it Bobby?
Bobby Valentine. And they, you know what it was? Benitez.
He's not ready.
Benitez blew game 1, and if they won game 1, I think that changes everything. You get a little bit, you relax a little bit, but you blow game 1, and it's like
We need Wally back. We need Wally Backman. That's it.
Yo, Wally Backman's too crazy, man. He's too much.
But you know what? You need someone. You need someone who's won. He was on '86 team, right? He won.
Yep.
You need someone with that energy. He's won in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been some things, maybe some
Extracurricular activities, let's say.
something's been going on.
Yeah.
Probably involved a little bit of domestic violence and some different things.
Not great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that you got nothing to lose, bro. Like to me, I don't want to say you got nothing to lose. I just feel like you have someone who
Like
comes
give it a
in,
shot, right?
But you're not a franchise that's had a ton. You've never had a streak.
Right.
You don't have a big pool of winners to pick from,
right.
to put into that
Right,
slot.
right.
And I think it would be great. Rest in peace to Rusty Staub. I'm a big Rusty.
Yeah,
Staub
there could have
fan.
been. I feel like there's I think Gary Carter would have been a great one. You know what I mean? There are certain
absolutely.
guys that I think probably
think
were
so.
built for that unfortunately are just not here with us. But I'm surprised. I mean, I knew you were a Mets fan. Like I said, I'm a New York guy, so I've been listening to you, forever. And I knew you were a sports fan. But I would have said, like I said earlier, about people who are entrenched in what they do. I would have thought you would be all music, just digging in the crates, just records everywhere, still music. Or have you always been like, were you ever that for a time, or has it always been sports and music this and that?
You know what? I'm a numbers guy.
Okay.
So I like I like
Some
I'm
records
a huge,
and stats and
I'm
shit
a
like that.
huge Johnny Unitas fan.
Interesting. Yeah, man.
I'm a huge because I know people talk you talk Montana and you talk Brady, and I think those things are great. I don't think those guys are great, you know.
But you don't think Brady's?
I do.
Oh,
No,
okay. I was about to
those,
say you got to get the fuck out, man. Come on.
I think those guys are great. It's just, you know, Johnny U. I'm not a Namath fan, even though I'm from New York, because I think his stats don't.
He stinks. I think he had as many interceptions as touchdowns, or maybe even more so.
His marketing is great.
Yeah. Broadway Joe, the fur jackets, he won. When you win that one Super Bowl in that upset fashion, pointing to the sky, all that, that's just as valuable sometimes.
But Joe didn't win against Johnny Unitas that day.
No, I mean,
you know,
yeah, right.
He won against I forgot, same guy who ended up playing for the Dolphins. What was I forgot his name. He played for the Giants in the '60s.
Right,
but. I mean, I'm a Johnny because I like that tough guy, steel, old school, iron. You're not going to beat me.
Right.
You know,
right.
You can try, and I'm going to win with whatever I have.
Right. It is interesting that you can do it like that way, or like Joe Namath, like he's good enough. He did win a big one. But the rest of it is kind of smoke and mirrors. It is. I mean,
he was
it
downhill
is swagger.
out there.
It is. Yeah, but the idea of like being, a legend or being in the Hall of Fame and being a name that everyone still recognizes, that's all just because he's swaggy. That's all just because he's cool.
It was that game and the game prior, I think, against the Raiders, which got him
balled out. Yeah.
To the AFL title. And then so then that was, well, he kind of presents it like that. So I like individuals. I love. Maybe that is why I'm such a LeBron fan. I'm such.
So being a numbers guy and a stats guy, though, when you apply that to music, I mean, I guess you could talk about records sold and streams. There are money. There are tangible numbers, but a lot of it is more subjective. It's more opinionated. So how does that translate for you being like a numbers guy, but then you gotta I like this record, I don't like this rapper, it's not as black and white.
Well, you know what though? But I mean, I'll be honest. I try. My personal. I see a record with no face.
Okay.
So, if there's people that like it, let's say I don't like something, first listen.
Okay.
I don't throw it away.
Right.
I kind of like.
See me? It's out the fucking window.
I watch it, and if it doubles back, I want to watch it.
So where are you at? Like, I feel like I'm 36, and I so quickly became like the old man yelling at the clouds. I'm like, this fucking mumble rap shit is garbage. This new shit is not like the old school. And I mean, I can't believe how much I sound like, my dad or my grandfather, who I used to make fun of for not understanding, rap in the first place. But I'm like, I want to get into it. Well, I give all these records a chance. I give all these guys a chance.
Were you a team? Like, when you 10 or 12, what was your favorite?
So I started really listening. Like the first CD I ever bought was Lost Boys. Okay. Legal Drug Money.
So we stopped there, right? So Lost Boys. Now I'm gonna tell you so that's young kids with an older soul. Heavily Queens related. Now, 10 years after that, okay. So then you would have been. What would have been like? Where'd you stop?
I stopped the last new. In my mind, I call it new. I really liked Childish Gambino's this first record. That was the first. That was I do like new rappers, and then.
But now seeing how you like those two groups, a soloist and then a group, but the reason why they are so different, even though it pleased you, like it touched the soul for you, because I'm assuming this now, Lost Boys grew up in Queens. I'm sure, Queens is a cool place. It's there's
got characters.
There's areas to make street money.
Yeah.
And they had that swag. They had street money swag.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, they look like they were going to get it.
They do got it. Yeah. Jeeps, Lex, Scoops, Beamers, and Benzes.
But that's what they grew up on. So. Those guys, when they were kids, probably looked out their window and saw hustlers getting money, so they watch a guy go on the corner. He's been on the corner 3 months. Then they see him drive down the street in the Benz.
Yes.
They're like, got it.
Yeah.
Now, but you like Childish Gambino too, who probably grew up on video games,
Right.
and probably grew up on morning cereal.
Yep.
So, believe it or not, those guys are the same. It's just that they're the same because they both wrote about what they saw out their window.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, in my eyes, it's like if you whatever it is that you see and you're doing, if you do it with like clever wordplay and good punchlines and similes and metaphors, like that's rap to me. It doesn't have to be drug dealing and hoes and gangbanging. It can be, Childish Gambino just, talking about going to camp and shit like that. But that I feel like there's none of that now. It feels like to me,
If you fast forward it today, so you have the baby, you have Little Baby, you have Roddy Ricch. I would say that's if you're gonna say New York, you got A Boogie. I mean, Pop Smoke, rest in peace. If you go to the top of the pile now, those guys are speaking from their eyes.
Yeah, I guess where I really lost it was like, because a lot of those people.
Mumble, I'm not a fan of.
That's
I'm
the thing.
on your page.
What you just said are guys who are fucking rapping. They are,
Yeah.
and
Mumble's
when it's
dying out too.
I'm hoping,
no.
it's on,
It's
it's on,
finished.
yeah,
No, it's done.
yeah, all right.
It's not
Because that to me wasn't that. I almost feel like is just a different genre where people are like, you like new rap. I'm like, I don't even think that's rap. I feel like it's more about the beat, more about the vibes. You want to fucking pop Percocet, drink some lean, and like vibe out. But if you're talking like, how could you even compare that to these old? I feel so old when I talk this way, but it's like when you
a mumble to me. I hope I get the definition of a mumble rapper correct. A mumble rapper, to me, spent less time on his wordplay and a little bit more on his melody, and he kind of maybe hums through a few bad words.
right. Which I get, that's fair if that's how you approach it.
And I think 4 or 5 years ago, it was heavy. I mean,
every song sounded the same beat, the same bass, the same little, the same. I'm like, oh my god,
it was there, and it was that was a very frustrating time for me. Just frustrating. It was just
Yeah.
because for a second it looked like this is where we're going.
right? And we ain't coming out of it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And so when you're in your position, and like that's what's taken over. Do you sometimes just have to like bite your tongue and like be like, I fucking hate this, but you're what the kids are playing and you're what the record, the industry wants. So I'll talk to you and I'll respect you and we can talk about it. When in reality, you want to be like, man, this song is trash. Because I cannot, I can't bite my tongue.
I hold a few hats. So
many, sir, many.
I play. Sometimes I open up for the big acts in the arenas. Sometimes I play at the 3,000-4,000 seaters, and then sometime I do an appearance for me in a club. So sometimes it's 1,000, sometimes it's 3,000, sometimes it's 10,000 people. So I do understand, and I like to make people dance, and I like to
Right.
do magic. So
And
on
if
top of
that's
the
what
radio,
they wanna
so the
hear.
radio's a daily too. So
yeah.
I always look at a record as, oh man, this really pleases a large audience.
Right.
So
whether or not you personally like it, you see the crowd moving. It's like whatever. play.
But even if I'm in a club, I may have a 3 mumble rap limit when it was hot.
Okay. I'll give it to you, but you're not taking over my set with this shit.
No, I'm not gonna do 10.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna get the other stuff in, and so. But I'll tell you something. You'd be surprised. Just like a kid has on his phone and the way he sets up his playlists. No one does 40 rap records anymore in a row in their phone. You'll have a reggaeton, you'll have an R&B, you'll have a rap record. I mean, you'll have a house record, you have a dance, you have a pop record.
What would be the most surprising song that you? Maybe not even when you're playing a set or you're doing anything publicly. You're just at home listening to your music. What would you listen to that you think the public would be most surprised about?
Well, I think when I play the clubs now, what people kind of get surprised at is, my knowledge of reggaeton. I have a good knowledge of what records are hot in the club. My knowledge of house records.
Yeah. Is Flex ever going to drop a bomb to like Taylor Swift or some shit?
You know what? I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan.
I don't like her music. I respect the fuck out of her hustle, though, man. I can't get down with her music. I do think that the Quarantine album, she wrote some bars, man. She's got some lyrics, but it just doesn't play to me. It's sad as shit. But her hustle, man, her grind, her re-releasing all these old records to fuck over Scooter Braun is like, whoo, she's a boss, man.
Shout out to Scooter, man.
He's gonna have this whole catalog of just useless shit when she re-records everything. But
she records.
She's re-record. She wants her masters. He's not giving them up. It's a whole thing, and so she just keeps re-recording the same song, new updated version. And
it kind of makes the old one obsolete.
And especially with all her fans being like, rabid, they're like, we're gonna go listen to hers. Fuck Scooters. So he's got this catalog, and I'm sure it's still always gonna. People always have the originals and commercials and everywhere else these things play. But she's making her best effort to re-record every single song so that she's like, all right, you can have the old ones. I got all the new ones.
He put a fire under her.
I mean, she is not to be fucked with, man. She is crazy, man.
You wouldn't think she would do that.
No, right? I mean, and even like going toe to toe with Kanye and Kim and like, I used to not really care for her personality. I thought she was like kind of phony and like, kind of like a clout chaser or whatever. But now I feel like these days there's no denying.
So genuine with her.
Yeah, now that's. I mean, maybe I didn't know enough about it. I just thought she was always like, every time there was a new act, she was like, "This is my best friend." Like a new girl comes out, all of a sudden they're sitting next to each other at the award show. It's like you're not best friends with everybody. She dated she's always doing these revenge records to every boyfriend. I was always like, this is whatever. But now, yeah, I mean, in her way, she would have. If she was a different type, she probably would have been a good rapper, man. I feel like she could have been like a battle rapper if she had that.
With the energy she's putting out now, right?
Yeah, very, very vengeful, very spiteful. But yeah. So like, where would you draw the line? Like, do you fuck with country music? Do you fuck with?
I mean, and my knowledge isn't like no, I don't really have a drawing. Look, I know it's like. I know Lil Nas X gets a lot of has been getting some aggressive energy.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. Some aggressive energy.
Yeah. I know he's been getting some aggressive energy. And I am not too privy. I mean, I see it and kind of not see it, but I mean, it's a good record.
I also think on top of that is
good song.
I loved he had a tweet when everything really started to fire up, and he said, I've been planning this rollout for 9 months. You're not going to beat me. Like, I think he saw every, he's like, I'm going to piss these people off, then I'm going to drop the shoes. Then Nike's going to sue me. Then this person's going to, Like, he was locked, loaded, and ready. He's a kid who knows the internet. He knows how to troll. He's got the SpongeBob memes on deck. He's laughing things off. He doesn't take it personal. No. Top of the charts, money hand over fist. Like, whether or not you even do not like the record, whatever. It's like the execution.
The rollout
on point.
The rollout.
I don't think I've seen anybody use the internet like as well as he has yet. Like
he's following his passion too.
Yeah, I love that he kind of like he bait and switched the world pretty hard. Like I'm gonna do this country record, and then it's like, oh, now I'm gonna be this radically sexualized gay man, and like it's too late. I'm already in your household. I'm already in your kid's phone.
I'm already there.
Yeah, it's like
and it's
Trojan horse.
And if we're gonna, in being in the music business and even being, you consume music, I consume music, we got to go back to it's a good record. Yeah. Like it's a good record. Right. Like yes, we can. There's all there's all of the things that are going around it and circling around it, and something, I could understand where a few parents are concerned.
Sure.
I could understand how some may feel.
I actually did see. I was fully on his side, and then I saw, I think not only maybe 2 months ago, there was a interview, like an article that said he's like, my audience is kids, and I know that. He put out a children's book, like, and I was thinking, like if he wants to be, like this, like I said, like sexualized, like in your face guy. That's for you to like control with your kids, But he just like a month ago was like, yeah, my fans are kids, and I know that. It's like, well, now it's getting a little,
It's aggressive.
Yeah,
it's
but also, you can't be for the kids forever. You got to grow up eventually. Like sooner or later, you're going to be an adult. And have adult fans. So,
I think for parents, aside from Lil Nas X, like that maybe that's what sparked this thing for the last couple weeks or 2 weeks, but. If anything that hits the internet musically that strong in any fashion has been going on behind the scenes. And,
For a while.
that's the last stop.
Right. That's been bubbling for a minute.
And internet in your face, I don't care what the subject is. Parents, whatever music or whatever artist or whatever's going on, by the time it gets to us, because I'm going to put myself in that boat, it has been going strong the last couple months, maybe even longer.
Probably should have already had some conversations.
And they're starting to put it
Yeah.
on the forefront, or rap about it, talk about it, sing about it, whatever it might be. So,
I feel like Ariana Grande just did the same shit. She was, had a lot of young fans, and next thing you know, like her new single's about 69ing. It's like that girl grew up. She wants to 69 now, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, she's not gonna just be singing for the kids forever. She's gonna start having sex, and like that's not on her.
And I personally believe that I believe that even the kids, they don't ride out. I could be wrong. I don't want to. They don't ride out 10 fucking albums deep.
Right.
With an artist,
No,
they whatever. I mean, if you were, I don't know. If you were a Bieber fan, I'm sure you might be now a Kid Laroi fan. You might well, I don't want to say the same person, but
the same genre, like the
that younger
demographics
is probably going to be into the artist that's closer to their age,
Right.
rather than following as they're going on. I think Chris Brown, I don't know, might he be 30 yet? He might be. Chris Brown might be 30, might be late 20s.
Is he really?
He might be. I would assume.
He was so young. He's such an interesting case. Like,
I think that he's his audience may some grow and stay.
31. Holy shit, man.
So
I guess when you start when you're like 15 or whatever, yeah, that's crazy.
I think a younger kid who likes something I think if you're 16, my son's not. My son's 13, 14. He's not. He doesn't care. On a Chris Brown release,
right?
What my daughter does.
So it was a big to do here. So Wallow and Gilly, $1 Million.
Of course, of course.
So they're under our umbrella, and they had Young Thug on, and Thug was like, "I got 40 or 50 songs that like the whole arena will sing along to, and nobody else has that." And then they mentioned Jay-Z, and Thug was like, "Yeah, not even Jay-Z." And then he quickly was like, "Well, no, yeah, like he does have a lot." But there was this like clear divide here at Barstool and then on our social media and shit, where there's the young bucks who are like, man, and it was like a shot to my heart where these kids were like, dude, no one's putting on Jay-Z at the party, no one's putting on Hove when we're pre-gaming before we go to the bar. Everyone's listening to Young Thug, and then the guys my age and up are like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, Jay-Z, I'll name you like 80 songs right now. The ones that weren't even the radio hits.
That motivate you.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting, and I think what's happening, at least for me, is like rap, I think, is kind of for the first time old enough to be lame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when it started, it was so new that everybody was cool, everybody was young, everybody was aggressive, everybody was cutting edge, like vulgar and all that shit. And now it's like been long enough that Jay-Z can be a 50-year-old like grandpa, and the young kids are like, fuck that. And I'm like, what do you mean, fuck that?
His coolness and his swag is still there, and his pen will never change. It's an argument that and you know what? To be honest, it's really a generation gap.
Absolutely.
But
that's what I mean. It's the first time there's been multiple generations, because
it is,
in the beginning we were all just fans of the same guys because they were. No, I don't want to say the first time, because there's definitely the 80s versus the 90s and the 2000s. There's levels and layers to it. But for the most part,
what year you born?
I was born in 85.
It was a great year for hip hop.
Yeah.
I so by
really
5 you was
like
98. You in full swing. You was 7 in 92. You were right. You did.
92 was like, that was when I started really
you're
listening.
You're getting Craigie Mac. You're getting Black Moon. You're getting it all.
Yep.
It all.
That like 9, and it's so funny to think that I was like this like 7-year-old kid. Like at that point, I was like, we were living in City Island. That's where I was born, and then we moved to Philly for a bit, and then back.
Now, when you say City Island, where?
City Island in the Bronx.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Wow.
I was born and raised on Fordham Street. Yep.
What about Johnny's?
Yep. Sammy's.
Bruh.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
listen. Wow. Bam.
Yeah, it's a wild place.
If it
man.
was open today, I go. If I wasn't dieting, I swear to God, I might fucking go today.
Where's your spot? Is it Johnny's?
Johnny's.
Yeah.
Listen, please, if you're in New York City, the Johnny's Reefs tartar sauce would change your life.
Yo, it's so funny how much people love like Mother's Day brunch to get on. Like so we live like we live there. My grandma was there. My parents live there now.
Do no fries.
So
I'm just do seafood. I'm going there today.
But people, I mean, the traffic to get on the island sometimes, like people fucking love it, and I'm just trying to get back to like I gotta pick up my mom. We gotta go do some shit, you know.
I'm a muscle car guy, so a lot of guys used to have great muscle cars.
Yeah.
You know, not car shows, just riding around.
No, just come through. Yeah.
And,
People just love to ride down the islands, like get some food, show off a little bit.
It's good. I don't want to say names. There's a couple new restaurants over there where there's too much breading. The shrimp tastes old. There's a couple.
Go ahead, name names. Say them. Call them out. They got to be better. You got to motivate them. You got to light a fire under their ass.
2 or 3 of the recent ones, I'm like, fam, this ain't what this is, bruh. You obviously haven't been down to Johnny's. Sammy's is overrated. I'll give a fuck what nobody says.
Sammy's Fish Box. I mean, they used to sponsor all our Little League baseball teams and everything. Like it was always Sammy's. We actually go to Artie's. Artie's is a little more Italian and seafood, but it's yeah.
I'll tell you something. When you come on the island and you make a sharp left before you even get in.
Yep.
There's like 2 or 3 restaurants.
Yeah, that back
really
way.
Good.
Yep, underrated.
Really
and then you
good.
got like Seafood City. You got like when people get those Henny Coladas.
Seafood City ain't right. That's what.
When the Henny Coladas start flowing, I'm out. I'm like, this is gonna get dangerous.
Seafood City, you gotta step your game up.
Yeah.
You got a great parking lot.
The biggest parking lot in the world,
Great parking
man.
lot. The motorcycles look great out there. The cars look good out there. I heard your mixed drinks are super. I don't know if it's your deep fryer or something's happening.
Off. And that's why everybody ends up fighting, man. They get too drunk, they're not getting good food, and then they go viral. Next thing you know, you're on fucking World Star, all right?
Yeah,
they're
man.
building some shit. Have you been there recently at all? They're building something right to the left of Seafood City. Big fucking like 4 stories. I think it's gonna be more like of an event space. They added a whole fucking traffic light for it. There's a new stoplight on the avenue. So I don't know but it was being. I think it was supposed to open up like this year.
You went
so
to
it
school
obviously
there
got
too?
fucked up.
You went to
PS
school
175. Yeah.
You're super Bronx.
Yeah, super
You are
Bronx. Super Bronx.
I'm Bronx too. I grew
Yeah.
up 241st, 233rd Street area. My parents are Jamaican, and they came in '63, and you know hip hop was. I lived on the same block. Slick Rick lived on my block.
Oh wow.
I lived on my block. Chuck Chillout's girlfriend lived on the block. So it was.
Does that make you like a Slick Rick like fan? Were you like, or was it just like, yeah,
you know
he's
what?
from around the way, but it's not.
He was me and him got to be around the same age. So I was heavily baseball. So I played I was always baseball in the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's funny. You know, I wanted to go to the college for it. I wanted to go to school for it. I wanted to play. But I'm a numbers guy, so I always used to look at the back of the baseball card. I was like, damn, niggas only get like 7, 8 years, 10 years. There was only a few 20 years or 15.
You got to capitalize. You're flash in the pan.
And
yeah.
I used to like ask people the salaries. I was like, nah, it's not enough money. You know,
This man just said there's not enough money in professional baseball.
well, back
God
then,
damn.
back then, it was like
Right. Yeah, you're not making the
I
same
know I'm
money
skipping around
today.
because we're talking Bronx, which was of course, so me being from the Bronx and Cool Herc, Red Alert, and all those things, you know, so it was a swell for me. But look, a baseball player then had to do a winter job, you know?
Right, I know.
Like there wasn't,
Which is crazy.
you weren't making it. I mean,
Yeah, I got to go hit like the factory in the off season.
I'm a Brooks Robinson fan,
Okay.
and I think I was looking at his salary reports. I was like, bruh.
This ain't right.
Like 20 years in Baltimore, and it also was according to the market you were in.
Right.
You know, if you're in Kansas City, bro,
You ain't making shit. You're probably working at the seafood. You're putting the deep fryer in, you know?
you know,
It's crazy, man.
But I've never seen any of the older guys complain.
I think that's just.
I've never seen
I think they
them.
must internalize it because, man.
Have you seen them?
No, you're right. But I mean, I feel like. I mean, I'm sure they were still like.
There was money in
comfortable
football
for their era, but man, even I think there was some stat about like what Charles Barkley made over his entire career, And it's like what, these dudes will make in like a couple seasons now.
Yeah.
It's like, it ain't right, man. It's all about timing and TV and, globalized and, how high the salary cap is and shit. But it's like, if you are even semi-competent in basketball right now, you're getting like a $50 million deal. It's crazy.
Do you believe, because was it Wilt Chamberlain before he passed away? And I always see this meme. Do you believe that he always speaks about the game used to try to keep him from scoring, but then he feels like the game supported Jordan scoring?
Yeah, they change.
Do you believe that?
I feel like the greats always force rule changes. Like if you look at like with Shaq, they had to change the way like you could play D against him. With Jordan, there was the hand checking rules. I think with Wilt, it was like they had to do something.
He was too dominant.
I mean, you can't be putting up 100. You can't be putting up like 55, 25, 20 assists, 15 blocks, 10 steals. I mean, it was just like, and that was that's because he was this like 7-foot freak playing against these like 5'5" Jewish guys. You know what I mean? Like it was just the game. He was too imbalanced. Yes, and he's probably right where they were trying to slow him down. Imagine had they not. But also the game would have just been, it was just him and Bill Russell. That was like it.
But even to when you watch him and Bill, I personally don't enjoy sometimes watching older footage without the finesse and the swag of the street court style.
It's like, I mean, you watch like Kyrie, it's like he's dancing out there. You watch Wilt, it's like catch the ball, turn, put it in.
Dr. J might have been the beginning of
that. Was like he was like the missing link where it went from.
That's when it started to feel like it was.
Yeah, I think so.
What did you think about? I have questions because it's easy to watch something on your phone or something. Last Dance, and Scottie Pippen not feeling 100%. What did you? Him not feeling 100% about the documentary. But what did you think in watch? I don't have an opinion. What did you feel about the perception of
I think
of how he was perceived?
Yeah, I think Scottie. That doc was like Michael Jordan got last say on everything, like final edit, I think, because I mean Scottie looked like they just made him look like such a chump at times, where it was like when he didn't want to take, when he took himself out of the game, that one line he had though when they weren't paying him and he said something like, he's like, I'm not gonna fuck up my summer for this. It was great. It was like they weren't treating him right. He wasn't making enough money. And he was kind of like, all right, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? So I feel like he was totally entitled to do that. But when you're making this documentary that's all about the competitive killer instinct and the desire to win, and it's not about money and all that, and then he's the one talking contracts. But that's easy to, Jordan was making $30 million a year in 1996 or whatever. So he was getting his. He was able to just focus on that, where Scottie was kind of like, yo, I'm like the second best player in the NBA, and you're paying me like $2 million a year. Like, fuck that.
Let's change
so
this.
I can understand where he was coming from, but I think they did him a little dirty with like.
You think it warranted what he felt?
I think so. I mean, I think he was a fucking really important part. Like
on the other team, he would have been as a superstar.
Absolutely, and like
to even be mentioned and remembered with Jordan on the same team,
huge.
It says something about you.
And everybody thinks of like LeBron and Wade and Chris Bosh as like, well, Jordan didn't have that. It's like. He did, man. He did.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Pippen and Rodman, like these were stars, but they weren't getting paid like that. They weren't getting treated like that. So I can understand feeling like slighted by that. And then to make that the focus of the doc for those couple episodes rather than like how fucking important he was, that's kind of dirty,
Okay.
I feel like they could have balanced it a little more,
you think that's a Jordan thing?
I think so. I think that was like, this is going to make MJ look like... I remember him saying, he was like, man, when you guys see this doc, you're going to think I'm an asshole. Like, it's going to make you change your opinion on me. And I was like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. No. It made me think, even higher of you. There was not one thing in there that was like, oh, wow. And I'm sure there were times where MJ, you know what MJ's like so lucky about? And rappers, entertainers, movie stars, everybody. Your prime was with no social media, no internet, all that.
Absolutely.
You know what kind of shit MJ would be getting into, like
no, of course,
with the cameras at the casinos, at the clubs, like he would not be the same guy,
You could damn near ignore and not even answer something because there's no footage. There's
Right.
no.
There's no proof.
You
There's no
sure that
evidence,
was
and
me?
then-
You sure
Yeah.
that was me?
It was another 6'7" black guy walking. Like, I mean,
Yeah, you sure?
there was no like reason. You didn't have to be accountable for like anything, And for guys like that who were in the club and do throw around the money and all that shady shit with the gambling and the possible suspension and all that. If that was during the prime time internet, social media, Twitter days, not to say that he would be like eaten alive or wouldn't have made it through it, but it would have been a lot more of a struggle for MJ than it was,
Why do you believe? Because I'm learning today.
Yeah, I like it. I love these interviews where we can both. I hate when it's just question answer.
Why do you believe? Correct me if I'm wrong. Basketball, on top of being an amazing sport, the players do make good money, right? They make.
Baseball and basketball. I mean, they're guaranteed contracts,
Uh-huh.
and they're just big money, man.
Why do I notice the players? And it is. Correct me if I'm right. It's a heavy African American
Basketball?
sport. Basketball.
Oh yeah.
I hear all this talk of ownership, and the players kind of wanting ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm an outsider, so I know you're sport. Because I always looked at it outside as well. I thought, and I've heard over the years that it was in the beginning it was about the players making more money.
Mm-hmm.
But is it now that they're making more money and now they feel there should be ownership involved?
I think that is kind of the next evolution. So this was more about baseball. During COVID, I talked to Faye Vincent, who was the former commissioner of baseball, and he said recently, like within the last 10 years, there was the head of the Major League Baseball Players Union was this cat Michael Weiner, I think his name was, or Weiner, and he was on the verge of getting equity stakes in baseball teams for players, where it would be you have your salary, but you also get a percentage of jersey sales and TV deals and concessions and all that shit. And he died suddenly of an aneurysm. It was bam, gone. And
He's
then
young?
yeah, I think he's old enough to be in this position, so 50 something, but a young man, very a brilliant a union rep or whatever. And Tony Clark took over, and everyone says he does a fine job, but he's just not on this guy's level. And the power just shifted back to the owners. But this guy said that he was on the verge of getting, and I don't know if that meant every player or the star players or what, but you start to talk about getting a stake in some of these billion-dollar franchises, and it's you don't even need to give me a salary. It's not even about your yearly salary anymore. If you even get 0.1% of, these monster franchises. And I think the NBA is interesting because it's so star-driven, where it's without the LeBrons and the Kyries and the Hardens, the product, it ain't there. So they're you need us, we need you, but you need us more than, it's always a power struggle. And I think that's going to be the next step for all these leagues is
think it's going to get to that?
Well, I mean, if you're LeBron and you're LeBron made the city of Cleveland. Forget about the team. He had restaurants and bars and commerce coming. And, I would be I deserve some of this fucking money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and especially in the NBA where there is a salary cap, LeBron's making the same as some of these other superstars. It's crazy. He should be making $100 million. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think that's the next step, but I do believe that these owners will fight that to the bitter goddamn end, because that's always been the game. We own it, we make these money, and we'll pay you what you get. But that's going to be the next level. It's going to be interesting, man. Let's see what
it might evolve. It's
going to take a big evolution. But let me ask you. So I want to learn from you. It's a somber topic, of course, but DMX is in the hospital.
Absolutely
not looking good. He was that dude for me. 1998, those two albums coming out 7 months apart. That it's funny how I could be a white kid in the burbs at that point, relating to this fucking
touching
hard,
your nerve
scary.
for you.
Yeah. But I'm also seeing now that there's all these stories coming out about him on Twitter, social media, whatever, about the other side of him, that he was such a nice dude and
absolutely
funny stories where he was sitting next to this white lady on a plane talking about social media, all these nice things that I feel we should have been hearing that all along. Do you think that was did he want to have that persona of being rough and tough and he didn't want those things out, or did people, whatever reason, it's I wish we knew that side of X the whole time,
I think in this disposable world of social media, sometimes the nicer things about people, the good about people, the things that that aren't getting clicks or getting that isn't the tragedy or that type of putting out bad energy seems to really attract attention on social media, and I think some of the good things that people do gets caught and doesn't get seen. I think I said it earlier this week. The music business is it's a pit to me of either happiness or depression. That's my opinion. Only mine. I'm just basing that on certain things that I've seen people go through, and it's not. I know we're supposed to help ourselves or whatever, and I'm not blaming it that we're not helping each other. It's just, when you're an artist, because don't get it fucked up, DMX at 50 was still feeding a lot of people.
Sure.
If there's dates and there's tours or there's situations, I want to say I'll stick mostly at the appearances. And man, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but if you think that people around an artist want to see him in a rehab for 6 months, not generating any money,
wow,
I don't think so. I don't think that that's true.
That's dark, man. You think that there are people out there being like, "Don't get the help you need.
Well,
Get back on the road." Type
I don't
shit?
want to say it's the closest people.
But some people.
I mean, you got booking agents. You got people. You have people. There's people around that make. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
There's leeches, right? It's like.
Well,
what's crazy
and,
to me
and
too.
they may not even. You know what it is, honestly. You know what a good thing, an example is. I may not. I wouldn't use the word leech. Only you know what I would say. If you're used to the engine of your car starting up every time, no matter if you leave it out in the snow or fucking it gets hit by a bus and it always turns over, then you kind of get stuck in that, and then somebody goes, "Oh my God, yo!" And here we are. I don't. I'm not saying that any grown man has to have people constantly. We're grown.
Yeah.
But I do feel that with a lot of artists, especially veteran artists. A veteran artist today in hip hop is different from one 20 years ago. 30 years ago.
I mean,
30 years ago, if you were a rapper, an 80s rapper got about, let's say you're not a superstar. Let's say you're not an LL. You're not a Run DMC. You're not. All right. You get 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 or 5. Right? You're not touring now.
No, it's over, right?
It's just the way the game. The bigger guys are going to tour.
Right.
So, and that's to say, it was a complete stop. Like it's a stop.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
You're not even cool. You're not even cool for the barbecue.
Right.
Back then.
Right.
Because people moved on in a different type of way. A rapper now is celebrated.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Well, especially as you get older,
money.
There's unfortunately there's few guys who are making it, the icons. Whether it's they're dying from violence, they're dying from health. Like some of these guys didn't even get the chance to be celebrated, and the few that did make it, you look at like Dre and Diddy and Hov, they're billionaires because they are celebrated, But it's a new enough and kind of a tragic enough genre that some of these guys aren't making it. Well, but if you are, there's a whole machine around you, right?
There's a lot making a couple million. Yeah. I mean, don't think there's there's the Norries, there's the Fat Joes, there's the Joe Buttons, and they're in the space, they're in the podcast.
Right,
there's guys making millions.
I think the podcast is so interesting because I think there's something about like if you can rap. you can talk, like
Correct.
you've got the personality, you've got, how to talk on a mic, you have the presence,
And the passion.
Yeah, I saw a clip the other day of Tupac talking about like just inequality of economics, and I was thinking like, oh my God, imagine if this dude was around to have a podcast or a radio show or something,
it'd been amazing. It'd been
talking about
amazing.
like in this climate with how much is going on in politics and social, he probably wouldn't even like you wouldn't even remember him as a rapper, It's like, oh, I used to do music, I just like speak now, I write books and all, I think there's something about the great ones can do it all. It doesn't have to be
Podcasting
just
is an amazing evolution.
crazy.
I like it a little better with the video. 'Cause
Yeah,
I like to
that's
see
what I'm
people's-
trying to get all these motherfuckers to subscribe to our YouTube. Oh, listen and not watching.
Man.
YouTube is that next level, man, where it's like you see the faces, you see the reactions. I mean,
like it.
how long were you at Hot 97 or at Hot
Oh,
97?
man. 90,
30 something years,
at
right?
least 93, 94.
What was it like when 105.1 came out?
You know what?
Was that like because as a fan
They
there
were
was like
always
beef,
good. It was
but
always,
you were cool?
It was always good people.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know something? I respect people's work ethic.
Yeah,
So people who work
they did a
hard,
good job. Like I remember thinking like
believe so.
nobody can touch Hot 97. And
I think they did an amazing job.
They came in pretty hot.
And I like people's work ethic and passion.
Yeah.
So and I like to compete.
Right.
So
I love a good like morning show beef and like when Angie switched, I was like, oh my God, I was like,
what's happening?
It's like wrestling for me. It's like, well, she went to WCW, like what? Like that's crazy
What
to
the
me.
fuck?
Yeah, I was like
Shout out to
betrayed.
Angie
I was like,
Martinez.
it's Hot 97. How do you leave? Crazy shit like that. It made it fun as a listener.
But you know what too? You have to either step your game up,
right?
like on either side. Step your game up, put your effort in, and best man
Right.
wins.
I mean, for a while, you guys
woman.
probably didn't even have to worry, right? There was nobody. I mean,
but you
107.5 was kind of like R&B. Like, who was your competitor before 105?
But you always have to keep your competitor in your rearview mirror,
Right.
and pay attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that
And,
you fall asleep, and that's
and-
how you get.
Me. You're gonna have to do a lot to take me off of my, not just my work ethic, but no, Shav doesn't like when I talk about this.
Let it rip, man.
The music business, because you know how you talk about radio and music, and we've been talking about songs, probably nationally, because I want to be fair. There needs to be a stronger concern on being up and up with yourself on why you play a song.
Okay.
That you're not influenced financially,
Interesting.
and that I think.
Man, if it was me, I'd be put it in my pocket. I'll play whatever you want if the price is right, man. I could be bought like that.
But I bet you your opinion of what you feel about a team cannot be bought.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, I say
because that's your passion.
But even
'Cause that's your first passion.
But music is too. Like you wouldn't know it looking at me, but like I take rap very seriously. So you could pay me to play a record. I don't know if you could pay me to say I think it's good or like, you know what I mean? Like I still find it very hard to be disingenuous, and I think that in this day and age of podcasting and what we do here is
I have a
to be
feeling that
genuine.
if the Yankees organization
Oh,
said to
no.
I need you
We're
to say
talking-
what you feel about this about the look at your body language,
Bro, no.
look at your whole shit.
It would have
You're not
to
gonna
be
do it.
9 figures. Like it would have to be crazy. I couldn't do it.
You didn't even hear a figure. You didn't.
Yeah,
you were already
no.
saying
No,
no,
I couldn't.
before.
You're right,
But
you're right.
but because the passion and you know what, you do not want to shortchange someone's hard work.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because if you do that, you will be shortchanging their hard work.
Right. No, I do feel that.
And that's the thing that bothers me about music and swaying a decision to play something for financial gain.
Right.
Is because
It's not. You know what it is? It's like sports. It's like with steroids almost. It's like it's not an even playing field. It's like it's not.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's well, I got my thing with steroids.
What's that?
I got my thing with steroids. Okay.
I say let them all do it.
Well, here's
it
my
was so much
question. Here's
better
my
when they were
question.
doing steroids.
I mean, I feel like it's mostly in the baseball
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
I got so many bad places about this. Sosa and
McGuire.
and McGuire. Like, you know how dead the sport was before that home run? You know how
they
dead?
literally saved it. They put it on their fucking steroid backs and they saved the sport.
As a baseball fan, I was taking pride for a second as I ain't going to turn you motherfuckers on.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. You took away something that I fucking enjoy. Fuck you. Go ahead.
Right.
You play in empty stadium.
Right.
Okay, that's the one thing. So that happens. It brings the game back. I'm sure the owners are like, bring the steroid juice in barrels, right? Or maybe
serve it on a buffet
and
on a platter.
I think people weren't asking questions when you see a guy's come back next summer and he's
Huge.
fucking big.
Well, it just wasn't illegal. There was no rules about it yet. So it was like they're not technically even breaking any rules at that point.
It's not helping ball and eye contact.
No.
Steroids,
Right.
right?
That's why I still like Barry Bonds is still like, you know, before he even did steroids, he was a Hall of Famer.
Now-
Then he did steroids, became an immortal.
Then, but it makes you heal quicker.
Yeah.
That
bounce back, yeah.
So, I was looking at some pictures, and I'm an old school baseball guy. I was looking at a couple pictures of Stan Musial. I was looking at some pictures of Willie Mays. That ain't hot dogs, bro. I don't care what,
I know.
I don't care what nobody
Right,
says
right.
to me that in their 40s.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't slamming them out the park anymore.
Right.
But they were definitely playing
Still-
games and looking. There was
Long careers. Willie Mays played for like 25 years.
I saw a picture of Willie Mays, like with the Mets. You know, the 2 years he played for the Mets was the best time of my life. So, but he just his build, and so are we going back to check everybody's? You know,
everything. You know.
let me tell you, I don't know who runs. There's someone in baseball that loves to use an asterisk next to it. I think the people in baseball that love to use that asterisk are old fogies who don't want to see some of their favorite players' records
Fall, yeah.
be smashed.
100%.
And it's not fair. Like, to me, like, and I'll tell you something. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's the color of his skin, or I'm not sure what it is. But you know, Sosa been pushed to the fucking, floor, man.
He's gone, dude.
You know?
The Cubs did him
But-
so dirty, so did the sport. But
McGuire
McGuire was
is
like celebrated, yeah.
He's ice. He's celebrated. I don't know if there was a difference between those two players.
Right. When Sosa corked his bat as well, I know that was a little thing, but I think that was more like with the Cubs. That's a weird story.
But
It's a
George
weird-
Brett had the pine tar.
Everybody in baseball has been chipping since day one.
Wait, what was the cork bat? Fuck. We played for the Indians for some time.
Albert Bell.
Yeah, it's like I hate. I don't hate. I do, man. There's guys like Dave Winfield who always want to comment on the veterans. Nigga, you was Mr. May. You was fucking, you know what I mean? You got a chip with the Toronto, my nigga. Like, sit down.
Yeah, right,
Sit
right.
the fuck
It
down.
wasn't you, man.
Like,
Shut your mouth, dude.
no, but he had, when you had the monster shit at the Padres and you had the team, you ain't win.
Right.
Nigga,
Pipe down a little bit, bro.
and also too, playoffs, World Series come, you never produced. You're speaking on guys, man, that he shouldn't even be in the Hall. That's my opinion.
Right.
I
I love how tight you are with the Hall. I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
Like
man.
he should not be. He shouldn't. What's it?
Yeah.
Like what?
Again, he was never like
that dude.
That dude.
So, so then when I see, I guess, so the steroid thing, man. Look at Pudge, man. They still fucking bringing it up. He going to the Hall this week. He deserves to be in the Hall.
They all should be in the Hall,
He's
and
in-
you can mention
he's
that
in,
it
right?
came from.
No,
if he is,
he
he
went in.
Yeah, did
he went in.
He better be. I mean,
he
he's
went in
fucking-
this week. He went in this week or last week. I mean, look, I remember I came back one season looking, and I'm like, damn, Pudge is half the size.
Yeah, I mean, when he stopped, it was noticeable. But everybody was doing it, pitchers, batters. So put it all in the Hall and put a plaque up that mentions that.
But
there was the dead
so-
ball era. There was the era where the mound was high. There was the era where we took steroids. There's the era where we didn't. Like, it's just parts of the game.
And even well, is Pudge probably the best a defensive
Probably, yeah.
of all time. I would
He's
say
certainly up there, yeah.
So then well, who's maybe second? Maybe Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench, Molina now with the Cardinals in modern day, but yeah, I mean Pudge was next level.
So when we're doing this even how you said about the mound and the dead ball pitch and everything else, man, give the player. It's easy for the writers. He adjusted.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like if okay, the mound's in a different place. Nigga, I adjusted. My career looks like I adjusted. Like
I'm gonna get mine. I know.
Like,
it's like, and again, they act like no pitchers were doing it. It's like you look at Roger Clemens. If I'm a batter, I'm like, well, if I got to keep up with this, then I'm gonna do what I'm doing.
He's not in because he's cocky. He's not in because of his talent. You know, that cockiness put fans in your arena,
big time.
You know, in your stadium.
I it's hard to say like just let them do steroids, but it's like that's what made baseball intriguing, was this aggression and this power and this, you know, like heroics. And without that, it lacks a little bit. So it's like, stop fucking hating on it so much, you old assholes, because you wouldn't even have a sport to write about if it wasn't for fucking steroids.
You know, Mike Piazza's a little overrated, right? You know that, right?
Be easy, man. Be easy.
Yo, we have to have the
tread lightly, dude.
We have to have the conversation.
Tread fucking
and I'm a
lightly.
Mets fan. Come on,
dude.
bro.
What are you talking about? How's he overrated? How's he overrated?
I just
with the bat, he wasn't the best with the glove. I'll give you that. With the bat.
All right. Question.
the bat.
Question. You feel he deserves to be in the Hall?
Because of his position, I do. Because of his position, I do. Because listen, how many catchers can you list? Really, it's like Bench and Pudge and Piazza.
If you want to do pitching, if you want to do position,
because as a catcher, he's one of
he's the nicest guy. I like him.
He one time. So before I did all this shit, when I was in college,
I needed a championship with him there. I needed one.
I mean, that would certainly like seal the deal in my mind.
And
when I was,
I needed that. I needed that.
I was in college and I was covering the Mets. Like I went to Fordham. I'm Bronx through and through, so I was working.
Were you at Fordham University?
Yeah. So they had a great
I worked
sports
there in
radio.
the kitchen.
Did you? Yeah.
What year was I working? I worked on. I was making fries
in the Bronx campus
and burgers.
In Rose Hill. Yeah.
Fuck, man. 80.
I was gonna say it's gotta be way before.
Yeah, for 80. Fuck. 88, 89.
Flex is flipping burgers at Rose Hill.
I flipped burgers I went to school at Pace University. I made burgers, pizza. I mopped. I was in the dish room.
That shit matters, and I think that's part of why you have the work ethic. Really,
best time of my life.
How old are you at that point?
I was just out of high school.
Wait, so you're going to Pace? So you're like a college kid?
In high school, I cleaned the toilets in my high school. Man. I am you know the floor, the machine,
the buffer, whatever.
Nobody buffs a floor better than me. I haven't
the
done it in a couple
buffer
years
on the planet.
Pause. Yo,
I will buff you. You took pride in buffing.
Wait. I remember the summer I painted the gym. Me and this guy Chris C. Ray, we painted the gym. The kids used to laugh at me.
Really?
Because when the basketball team was practicing, I'd be mopping the floor or cleaning the bathroom. They used to laugh at me. It didn't even bother me. Never bothered me. I was getting $250 an hour.
Shit. I think that's where, like, you know, you start as a businessman in ways, you know.
I feel like I took a discussion away from you, man, because we were on the steroid thing and we were.
No. But wait.
We're on Piazza, to be honest.
Yeah. What it was? I
wish you got me a championship.
I went down to spring training, and it was I'm trying to get interviews, and I asked them. It was when they had a new manager, and I said, "Can you compare the new management to the old management?" Which I understand as a question as an interviewer now kind of paints the old manager in a bad light, but he was like. And I'm like 19 maybe. I'm around all these other reporters that are veterans, and he just looks at me. He's like, "How am I supposed to answer that question? What kind of question is that? What do you want me to do with that?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Have you seen him since?
No, never saw him again.
You know what? Maybe you should answer. You know why you should have fucking answered it? Because you didn't get a fucking ring when you were fucking over
Maybe
there.
I'll say that to him next time.
Why don't you fucking Piazza tell us? You know what? Let me tell you
Answer
what.
the fucking question.
Win
Win a ring.
Let me tell you why that question mattered to at fucking 19. You're a fucking Mets fan, motherfucker. You're taking down a fucking check over here, motherfucker.
Remember when you lost the Subway Series, motherfucker? Answer my question.
And Clemens keeps
tossing bats at you.
And you want answers.
I deserve the truth.
Because if it's not the management, motherfucker, and it's not,
who is it?
Then it's not the
Then who is
players here. Could you explain to me? That's what he didn't want to fucking answer.
I should have just got. You know what? Fuck the question about
No,
that.
that's
What about you?
But that's
Yeah.
what, because you know what? You know what that question would have led to? All right, did you always have the right players? Mm-hmm. Were there certain trades that didn't happen that you wanted to happen? Did you not get along with management? Then what the fuck happened?
How come there's no ring on that finger, man?
You know, there's our problem with the Mets. They have no pride. They don't have enough pride. You know why? Listen, me, as a DJ, and I don't care, I'll say this time, no one's going to come in this town and beat me. You're
Right.
not going to come in this town and beat me at what I do.
Right.
The fact that the Mets sometimes get up in the fucking morning knowing how many wins are down in the fucking Bronx should be enough.
Right?
Like,
Well, that's what I'm hoping with
enough.
Steve Cohen now, new management. It's just like, I'm hoping that he's competitive enough where it's like, fuck. There's never been somebody who's just like, everybody always dances around the Mets-Yankees thing. I want Steve Cohen to be like, fuck the Yankees. Let's be the best baseball team in the city. Forget about like the league right now. We just want to be better than the Yankees.
And we had dynasty chance. 86 was
That should have been like 3 in a row. It was disappointing. They only won the one.
86, 88 went and we lost.
Yep, to the Dodgers. Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't even get to Chip. We got to.
Yeah, it was like the first round of the playoffs, I think. Yeah.
And didn't they get that bum Orshizer at some point? Did he come to the Mets?
Yeah. Oh
How
yeah.
dare you bring this guy in there? How dare you bring this guy?
Yeah. Well, you want to talk? I mean, then you look at fucking Doc and Darryl going to win I mean,
No, listen.
that's like the worst thing that's ever
I'm going to
happened.
be very honest with you, my brother. Doc Gooden having a no-hitter with the Yankees has scarred me for life. That's number one.
I mean that was. I mean, and then you know,
Rest in
Johan
peace to
got
George Springer.
Johan got us our no hitter, even though it was a fucking hit. But before that, when we didn't have one, and then Doc went and threw one in pinstripes.
Rest in peace to George Steinbrenner, of course. He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He did it
absolutely.
on purpose.
And that's what I'm saying. He
did it on purpose.
That's what the Mets
He
need to
said
do
it.
back.
If he got 10 wins out of Doc, it was a slap in our face.
Right.
Let alone a
Just
no
putting him
hitter.
in the uniform.
I got rid of him like the next year.
Yeah, and all he wanted to do was put Strawberry and Gooden in the
they
Yankees
put him-
cap and just say, "Look at this."
And they got a chip, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because you know why? 86 was the worst time.
Of his life. The 80s in general, man, he was like, "We stink and they're good." Fuck.
What do they have? Dom
That'll never
Baylor.
happen again, you know?
Was it Baylor? They had Griffey. They had, I don't want. It's not that they had no way of saying anybody was a bum, but that was the first time they were going outside of their farm system.
Right.
They were trying to buy
It, and that's
that's when they got derailed.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people are hard on Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. I know they're hard
tragic,
on them.
man.
I know they're hard on them.
I feel like it's similar to DMX too, though. I mean, it's
Yes,
like you get caught up in these things. You see that video of DMX where he's talking about he was 14 and like the guy he looked up to rolled a blunt and gave it to him, and he just unknowing like he laced it with crack and didn't tell anybody.
I believe that happened. I mean, I can only believe because DMX he shared it, and
I mean, it's like crying and passionate, being like that was when the monster was born. It's like you
hard
get caught up
because
in these.
I never had addiction.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to understand if you haven't gone through it. Where it's like
I'll be honest. If you told me I could never have another cheeseburger and fries for the rest of my life, I'd be concerned.
Right. Right.
So I don't know how it is
Right.
to not have a.
But seeing him like that in that interview where he was like, you have to feel for it. Like even if you're hard on drugs or addiction or whatever, it's like you see him being like that fucking ruined my life at the age of 14. You know.
But legalizing weed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you smoke?
I started to dabble a little in my older age. More like vaping. I'm not. I used to buy from this guy named Shakes in the Bronx. we would go across the bridge.
Wait, hold on. Go back to his name.
Shakes. So I was living
SAHAKES.
like milkshakes.
Like,
Shakes.
yeah, no, that's the shadiest name. Hey,
listen.
I'm gonna meet Shakes.
Shakes. We would drive.
Yo, bro.
At this point, I'm living in Westchester. We would drive
Where?
right over the bridge
Westchester.
in Pelham. You know Pelham?
Pelham, absolutely.
Yeah.
Edos. I know exactly.
Fire.
We've lived the same life.
We really
brother.
have, bro.
Edos.
People
Edos,
you
man.
wouldn't know it by looking at us, but we live the same
Amazing
life.
food at Edos.
So good, and they give you
Too
tons,
much.
Too
You
much.
can eat
I
for
take
2
it home
days.
for 3. It's amazing. So we would go right down Boston Post Road, like off Edos, go right over the bridge into the Bronx. We would meet Shakes usually at like a Wendy's.
Shakes.
We would get in his fucking car. I was like 15. I was like getting in his car with him, driving around the block and buying like a dime bag. I'm looking back on it. Like, what was I
heard
doing?
the word dime bag. Yo,
I'm dating myself.
I
here.
haven't heard the word dime bag, fam. Original OG. Well, I don't even know what they call it
Washed
now.
up. I don't know either, man.
You know-
Now I'm buying these fucking oil cartridges and shit. I don't know. The game has changed.
I'm gonna. This is a struggle I'm having with weed. And correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe my correct me now. And if you're in college sports right now, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You can now accept an endorsement. Right?
They're getting there. There's like it's a
look like
big
it's
point
around
of
the corner?
contention. Yes, it's inevitable. I don't know how quickly, but that's what's on the table for sure.
Okay. So, a parent's kid. He's playing high school football, right? They're gonna stop testing for weed in college football. Is that correct? Is that
I think that's also coming. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. All these things are like
Okay.
on the horizon. Yeah.
So you think my high school coach for a kid, how hard is he gonna be on weed on him in high school, right? Knowing that his next step, it's gonna
Yeah.
and then don't think that they're using it now.
Right. Of course. I mean,
Right?
everybody
They're
is. So
using
you
it
might
now,
as well be honest
but,
about it.
But they're probably doing, by all means, in a way not to do too much, get it out their system, whatever comes with it. Maybe I got an exam. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. So you want to legalize weed for the kids. Then you want to, when my kid, I'm not saying but then a kid then now goes to college where he can get an endorsement check of what, $1 million? So I want to tell you the type of disservice that I feel is getting ready to happen. So a kid in college can have $1 million in the bank and can smoke weed all day. How many of them are going to continue going to the pros, you think?
Well, you know what I think it is? I think it depends on how we like handle weed, because I think it used to kind of be like you're a stoner, you smoke blunts all day and you just like passed out. But as I think we use it more like wisely, as you use it more like for medicinal purposes or for pain.
The legalization,
or whatever.
I understand.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
I'm concerned.
You know, where's the 3Chi? I'm gonna give you. We got this shit that's our sponsor now. It's called 3Chi.
I'm
and
concerned.
It's like CBD mixed with THC. I'm gonna give some to you, Flex, when you leave. This shit is amazing, bro. It's next level. It's all legal and it's just as good. And I think as these things get more formalized, that people will be able to, I hope, handle it. You know?
I'm concerned explain giving a kid an endorsement deal in college.
Dude, they make so much fucking money for these schools.
No, but
they deserve some of this cash.
But I'm saying like how does that? A kid and a fam can handle that at that level?
I think when you're talking about the cream of the crop, I don't know how to handle like the walk-ons and if they should get money or whatever.
Well, no,
but when you're like a
but right now
top
you're not
prospect,
right now you're not supposed to be able to take it, right?
Yeah, right now you can't make any money.
And what was the reasoning for it before? That you can't make any money, keeping you pure.
They wanted to keep your amateur status. You had to be like, you couldn't be a professional. You had to be a student. And the minute that you started making money, you violated like the terms of yourself as a student. But like, let's take our head out of the fucking sand here. These kids are not, they're students, but they are, if you're a top football program, top basketball program, you are generating millions of dollars for these schools. And you got kids who are like scrapping money together to get like a meal. You know, it's like.
But I'll tell you something. Whatever your upbringing was, makes you do something like this, I bet you appreciate it.
Hell
I bet
yeah.
you love doing it. Because I know I appreciate. You know, I think a kid at that age, I'll be honest, it should be tough for him for a meal. It should. He's gonna.
Yes,
You know
but
what?
to get to that point,
appreciate
you're
it.
like, he's been doing it since he was like 10. You know what I mean? He has been earning it.
And then
Just at a younger age.
And then now he's not being tested for weed. I'm just.
It's just like he's got too much.
Because you know what I'm
at his
seeing?
fingertips,
I'm
yeah.
seeing. Okay, how old are you in college? 19.
18 or 20? 18 to 22?
So.
You're saying you give a kid an 18-year-old millions of dollars and all the weed he wants.
Take it further. Before college, you know what this kid's gonna be, because most kids is coming out of high school with it.
Right.
So, college is, you know what he's gonna be.
Right.
And the big guys. All right, cool. So now I'm 18 years old. If I grew up, I don't know, I liked baseball when I was a kid, and I was able to get $500,000 at 18, and I was able to smoke weed legally, I'm a different person.
Yeah, you'd be gone. You'd be at Johnny's on the Reef all day, right?
I'm a different person.
Yeah,
I don't give a
I feel you,
fuck.
man.
Like now. Okay, let's say you do have great parents, right? You know, this is now. You're taking away my energy to discipline.
Right.
You're taking it away.
Right, I feel you.
You're right.
Yep.
So and that, like, let's say I'm a great let's say I'm a parent that disciplines well, right? Let's say I am, or whoever we're talking about. So now you have, what type of discipline am I doing now?
Right.
Maybe I ain't built for that. Maybe
Right.
I ain't
No, I
built
feel
to
you.
fucking go toe to toe with my kid with a $500,000 now. Okay, how about this? Oh, I got a great one. I'm in college. Am I staying on fucking campus now, where I need to stay?
Mm-hmm.
Or
you
moved
living
out
on
into
campus, you could do whatever you
I
want.
moved to a nice apartment, right? Did I? Did I get a girl pregnant after that? I got a girl living with me in
It's
there.
a slippery slope. Yeah, man.
That's like,
Yeah, I hear you.
I am concerned. I mean, hey, I'm not. I don't. It's not like I have a child that's good that's playing football. Maybe I don't understand it. Maybe I don't
Right.
understand the money. But I just wonder where all that's going, man. I mean, you know, God
feel you,
bless him,
dude.
I guess, right?
Amen, brother.
God bless
It's,
him,
it's a
right?
wild world out there. Well, listen, man, I appreciate all the time here. I know
Thank you.
In Flex We Trust is the new platform where you're putting, like, I feel like it's almost like digitizing the mixtape almost. Like
It
putting
really is.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
it is? It's actually it has the essence of an aggressive mixtape, but it's aggressive content, and so you know I've had some new songs out there doing amazing, man.
Yeah.
King Von, Fabio Foreign,
Seen it, yeah.
Rowdy Rebel,
Mhm.
Jadakiss, CJ, The Baby, Post Malone's coming. Who else is coming? Pooh Shiesty, Big 30.
Little TJ. Yeah.
No, I'm putting out like two songs, 2 videos a month. We shoot in house. We edit all the videos. We have freestyle content. Just it's like it's an amazing music hub that I'm enjoying.
I mean, not a better person on the planet to do it than you, brother. So
I'm
congratulations.
enjoying it very much so.
And as a New Yorker, Bronx dude, appreciate all the years on the radio. Appreciate the tunnel and the albums, the music. Like it's been a pleasure, man. So
I'm gonna hit
thank you so
Johnny's
much.
Reef today.
Let's do it, man. I'd love to get a meal sometime on the island. My dude, thanks so much, man. That was great. All right, so big thanks to Funk Flex for coming through. That interview was brought to you by Roman. Get Roman. Flex went. We could have gone on for hours and hours. I had to do Friday Night Pints. That's why if you listen to Pints this past week, it was a little bit short because me and Flex were just going, and all of a sudden I realized I was like, wait a minute, I got people waiting for me at the bar. I had to wrap it up. I was going too long. It was almost like I had used Roman for interviewing because Roman helps you last longer. It's like I took out the swipes and wiped it on the microphone and was able to go for an hour and a half. Now I'm not saying if you use the Roman swipes on your dick, you're going to go for an hour and a half, but I am saying you're going to get an extra, let's call it, I don't know, 20% of time of sexual performance on your hands. So if you're used to lasting 5 minutes, he gives you an extra minute, which could make all the difference in the world. because when you come in 5 minutes, if you could have gone 6, let's say, she would have got off. You would have been able to switch positions and try one more thing. That's what the Roman swipes let you do. It lets you go that much further in your sex life where you can enjoy something extra that you never ordinarily would be able to. She gets to come or he gets to come. You get to experience. You feel better about yourself. You get more confident. And next thing you know, you're going 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Next thing you know, you don't even maybe need the swipe. But we all could use a little help, right? So go to GetRoman.com/Clancy, and you can get your first month of swipes for just $5, along with pills to get your hair to grow, pills to get your dick to get hard in the first place. They've got skincare. They've got everything you need to be a healthier, happier man who performs better in life. So it's GetRoman.com/Clancy. That to me was one of those bucket list moments where if you would have told me there was a time that I would be listening to the Top 9 at 9 on Hot 97, listening to that bomb exploding. The amount of times where Flex would be debuting a new song on Hot 97, and all I wanted was to hear the song, and he just kept dropping a bomb and kept rewinding it. It was like, damn you, Funkmaster, play the fucking song. And then if you would have told me that one day, I would have been sitting down with him, chopping it up for like an hour and a half, dapping it up, laughing about City Island and shit. I would have told you are absolutely fucking insane. So one of the bucket list items for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to get him back in the studio again, where maybe we can talk a little more hip hop this time. Like, you got your sports talk. Let's talk about 1998. Let's talk about some of the biggest years in hip hop. It was a pleasure. So shout out to Flex. I didn't get a chance to really plug his thing, but in Flex we trust. We mentioned it there at the very end, but it does seem like a cool new product and business that he's working on that I think could change the world of rap and entertainment for a lot of these artists and the way they connect to fans. So definitely give that a look. In Flex we trust, and thanks to him for coming through. All right, thanks for watching. Make sure that you click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and leave a comment below. I'll chop it up with you in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about today's episode, as well as what you want to hear in the future.